Hey guys, brand new podcast, and check this out. I got nothing to promote. I'm home for 2 months. Red Rocks, September 13th. I'm at Red Rocks. I haven't announced. I got a list of tour dates that I haven't announced for September, October, November, and December. So I'll announce those soon, probably in a couple weeks to be more exact. But for the most part, enjoy today's podcast. Today's podcast is with Jelly Roll. If you don't know who Jelly Roll is, I swear to God, you have your head under a rock. He is one of the biggest artists coming out of Nashville at this time. You may first have, I mean, I've known of Jelly Roll for a while. I've been a fan of his for a while. He had a big splash. We talk about this in the podcast. He did a song, Opener Up, with Andrew Schultz that went fucking viral. That was a huge hit. He did Kimmel last night. He is fucking awesome. He's got a hip-hop album coming out. He does country music. He's tatted. His wife's a badass. Her name's Bunny. She's got a huge YouTube presence. He's amazing. We talk about podcasting a lot because we're both fans of the podcast. He's also a big partier. That is where we are brothers in spirit, and we always will be. We had so much fun. We didn't drink. He talked about doing Kimmel last night. He talked about partying last night. We almost edited it out. Then we kept it in. This is a fun podcast. It's 2+ hours. I think it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. And we talk about comedy. We talk about songwriting. We talk about joke writing. We talk about him going to prison when he was 15. We talk about prison. We talk about tattoos. We talk about everything. He's in Red Rocks October 23rd. Not to be overshadowed by me being Red Rocks. September. He's in Red Rocks October 23rd. The Bridgestone Arena, December 9th. You can go to his website, jellyroll615.com. And I don't need to say much more. You're going to absolutely love him. My brother in spirit, in party, in art, in size, Jelly Roll.
So now that I'm sitting in this chair, it makes me wonder how big Stavros actually is. Right.
He just quit Cumtown. He quit his podcast.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I'm such a fan of his.
Dude, me too. By the way, I'm such a fan of Cumtown. Have you ever listened to Cumtown?
Yeah.
Dude, I literally, those guys make me giggle so fucking hard. Yeah. And he just put up a big thing. He's like, I'm out. I quit. And I was like, oh, man. I got so fucking bummed. Yeah. But, you know, I think he's touring ridiculous.
Right.
It's hard to juggle everything. I'll tell you what. I've listened to you on a lot of podcasts. I feel like we have a similar energy.
Right.
I know that I've been told that I remind people of you.
And vice versa, by the way. Yeah, every comedy club I've ever walked into in America, when I'm in a green room at some point, they're like, have you fucking met Bert? I was like, he's my favorite comedian. I'd fucking love to.
Someone told me, I came out with, you buy shots for everyone. We're doing Fully Loaded last week, and we get done Lawrenceville. We're up in the skybox, and so I just empty out a bottle. I just empty out a bottle full of shots, for sure. Right? It's like, fuck it. We're not going to sit on this bottle.
100%.
Empty it out, start calling everyone in for shots. And Brian Dorfman goes, fucking you and Jelly Roll.
Did he take a shot with you?
Of course he did.
We're like the only two people he'll take shots with. At least that's his sales pitch to me. He's like, fucking you and Bert. That's it. I'm only drinking beer unless it's you or Bert.
But I'm curious. I feel like I know everything about you. I feel like I know a lot about you without knowing enough.
Right.
Because I started, I'm trying to remember when I started following you. See, I was into that whole, thank you. I was into that whole, I've always been into hip hop. I know you're kind of venturing away from hip hop. I know that when you started, you had a little more hip hop influence.
I still got a hip hop album coming out this year.
Oh, do you really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I love what you do across all platforms of music. But I'm curious, about your actual come up. I know Felony at 15. I know, and I want to touch on all of this.
This is wild to me, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Dope. Thank you.
And look, dude, let enough people tell you look like someone. You start looking in the mirror and going,
God, I got to slow down.
Well, because you're like me. We both go to a cardiologist.
Yep.
We both make sure we get we can afford to live the lifestyle we want to live.
Yes, sir.
Because and I think that both of us, our lifestyles are made to be more than they are, and we don't say a word.
Exactly.
Because it's not bad for business.
Yeah, for sure.
People think I wake up and start drinking immediately. My friends think, when we did Sober October, Rogan asked me, he goes, is this going to be, can you stop drinking for a day?
I remember that. He was like, are you going to have, they thought you were going to have to like go to rehab or something to get sober for 30 days.
And I remember thinking, what am I putting out there that they don't know that I can just, I didn't drink last night. No shakes, no sweats. Sure. I just went to bed.
That's it. Just normal night.
Yeah, just normal.
Maybe took a slither of a Xanax if I couldn't sleep, but that bothered
There's
nobody.
nothing wrong with a quarter of a milligram.
That.
A quarter of a milligram.
A lick. My wife calls it a lick. Just lick the Xanax one time.
Sometimes what I'll do is I'll empty them, and all the broken ones I'll play Russian roulette and see if it adds up to a milligram.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's it. That'll do it.
I love when my wife goes, you need to take a Xanax.
Yeah.
I said to obviously I had this oral surgery yesterday that was a fucking nightmare.
Oh God, what would you dealing with that on Fully Loaded?
Oh yeah,
God, it's
so I was dealing with it. I was dealing with it on Birdie Boy Relapse. I woke up one morning and my jaw's just like I'm shooting down my jaw, and I'm like fuck. And I go
and as a big guy, your first thing you think when something shoots down the jaw is like, oh, this is it. It's happening. It's here.
I wake up every morning and I do this just to make sure I'm not having a stroke. I'll send you. I'm going to show you the picture of what I sent my parents. So I wake up. I think I can do it this way. I wake up and I look in my mouth and I see. Hopefully it's coming up soon. I see this and I go, "Fuck! I need to go see a dentist." Like it's not on here. It is a hole the size of a pea in my back tooth, and it's black.
Oh,
and I knew. So I had teeth problems right before, during the pandemic, and I knew that was there, but it didn't bother me. And then one day it started bothering me, and I was like, fuck. And then one day on tour, it started bothering me. And so I went in. This is like the worst case scenario. I'm always afraid of the cardiologist or a doctor give me bad news. I go in and they're like, so we can't save the tooth. And I hate to say this, but we're gonna have to break your jaw.
What?
And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, we're gonna have to break your jaw and we're gonna have to give you a brand new set of teeth, most of which will be implants from your wisdom. We're just gonna pull all your wisdom teeth, and then we're gonna give you implants from your back, second to back molars, up into your like 9s or 9 to 7, whatever numbers they said, like these two. And we're just gonna give you all new teeth, but you're gonna be without teeth for a long time, like 8 months. And I went, I mean, it just was so. It was, and so that's what they told me during Birdie Boy Relapse. So I just said, I didn't just say second opinion. I went, let's just see what happens. Do I die first, or do I have to get this surgery? I don't know if you've ever felt that way. You're like,
for sure, yeah.
And so then I go in yesterday. I lost a veneer on Fully Loaded right here, and I said, I don't know. I got to go get that fixed. So I just go in, and the guy's like, we need to address the thing in your back of your mouth. Is that hurting? I just been using a water pick and then filling it with hydrogen peroxide every day to get rid of whatever.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I don't think we need it. And he was like, we need to deal with that now. And so I spent from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. in the dentist chair, going to a couple different dentists. So they just did the best they could, and they saved one tooth, which they were going to pull immediately, saved that tooth. And now my wisdom tooth, which I don't need, they're going to try to save, and then worst case scenario, get rid of the wisdom tooth. Right. And then the guy literally said, I don't think we need to break your jaw.
Good shit.
It was just
you still had to go get a fucking root canal done right off tour.
Oh.
And do they fix the veneer too?
No. He goes, that's not our problem right now. He goes, our problem is you have a decaying tooth. Do you know what he did? He said to me, he goes, okay, I don't know the right way to explain this to you, but I want to freak you out. Pretend this window's fire. Yeah. Okay. This window is your, pretend this window's fire. This is your nerve.
Right.
We're going to take your nerve as close to the fire until we feel the fire. We may not touch the fire, but you may feel the heat. So no Novocaine. I'm going to start drilling into your tooth until you feel it.
What?
It's like putting your dick in a mouse trap and just going in the dark and going, I don't know if it's closed or not. I mean, I spent an hour of him just drilling and drilling, then finally hit the nerve, and I went, I mean, it's when you hit a nerve, I go, and it was like, okay, we found it.
Yeah, instant fucking wow.
Are those golds permanent?
Yeah.
See, I might do that this one.
Dude, I'm telling you, fucking been a pirate my whole life.
When did you first get gold?
Fat pirate. I don't know, I've had golds for probably 18 years.
Really? When did you make, I'm always curious about face tattoos, and like, because I want the state of Florida. I always wanted the state of Florida right here. That was when I wanted that to be my very first one.
Way to fucking go, dude.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, just throw it all out.
Just go right here, state of Florida.
That's what I tell my rock and roll friends. They'll have their hands and neck done, and they're like, I'm afraid to hit my face. I'm like, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you hit your knuckles and neck, you're fucked, dude. I'd have started with the face if I was you. You know, just worked my way down.
I was gonna do that to promote a tour. So I was like, I'd like it. I think it would be cool looking.
Right.
I think it would be subtle. And it would, if I get anything on my chest, because I perform shirtless, it may be distracting.
Right.
So but my wife killed it, that one.
I think my first one, I don't do that probably in like 16 or 17 or 18, maybe.
So
I was in jail.
You went to jail, and
I was in jail, and they were in there doing pick and pokes, or they had made guns out of like CD players where you could like fast forward cassettes, and they turn the engine, the motor from that into the tattoo gun, and they take a guitar string, which is so dope. You got a bunch of guitars in here.
Yeah. When
I first seen you play the guitar, it blew my fucking mind. I thought it was like a prop, and then I was like, no, he can actually play the goddamn guitar.
Well, you know who I'm friends with lives in Nashville? It's Scott Stapp.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. I got to hook you guys up.
Please.
Yeah, I would definitely love to hook you guys up.
That's one person in Nashville that I want to be friends with that I'm not.
He's the sweetest guy in the world. He is the sweetest guy in the world.
Did he come to the Opry show?
No, he was out of town. I texted him. I always text people day of. I'm always like, oh, I should have. He came out to a show I did at Zany's. Oh, and I opened up with singing all of Higher.
Really?
Higher is one of my favorite songs.
Oh my God. World. You came out with the guitar and sung it?
No. Just
acapella.
Yeah.
Okay. They just played it and you sung it with it?
Yeah.
No, it's fucking wild. But yeah, they would take a guitar string and windle it down. If you take the center of that's a needle at core, right? When you unravel a guitar string. So yeah, we were just all in there getting tatted up. So I was like, fuck it. You know, I've been a felon since I was 15.
That wasn't your first run-in with the law, though, right?
No, but it was the one that got me charged as an adult. So I kind of like felt like I felt hopeless from early anyway. So, but this was like the funniest shit on earth now is people are like, I just seen it on like the Kimmel comments, you know, because people are getting introduced to me. They're like, oh, fucking Post Malone's fat uncle. And I'm like, I had face tattoos when Post Malone was shitting green. Like literally, Post Malone was fresh off a nipple. You know what I'm saying? And I was fucking in prison with face tattoos, you know?
What? I have a friend, Joey Diaz.
Big Post Malone fan, by the way.
By the way, sure. I'm a huge Post Malone fan. Huge Post Malone fan. And I saw him just playing a concert the other day, and I was like, you know, he's done something kind of with androgyny that I find very cool. Right. Where he has kind of been, look, I don't ever speak politics. I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything. I want everyone to be happy. That's my politics. Right. I think I'm probably like you, very, very, very socially liberal.
Right, for sure.
And that's all where it ends. I don't really know anything about the other stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's done what he's done with the way he dresses, behaves, and acts, and how he's allowed his personality to kind of blossom a little bit.
Yes,
has been very, very fucking cool.
It's so cool to watch him go. I love watching artists grow in front of you. It's like one of my favorite things, right? So it's like to watch him go from being the White Iverson kid, you know, with like the crazy tall t-shirts and the quiet, didn't do no press, didn't like, you could tell he was like socially awkward. And then the way he overcame when they started first putting out like them old Bob Dylan covers and him dancing in the skimpy short shit, you know what I'm saying? You've seen all that shit, and it was like the way that he kind of just leaned into it, like that's kind of really who I'm really just like a cool fucking goofy kid from Dallas that just loves all kind of music. And just fucking leaned in and figured it out.
Do you remember when they shit on him for him saying, he said something like, I'm bigger than hip hop, or I'm different than hip hop?
For sure.
What? And
it was on the Breakfast Club.
Was it really?
I think it was on the Breakfast Club. Well, I know the Breakfast Club, he had that controversy when Charlamagne first grilled. He was like, so what are you doing for Black Lives Matter? And it was like early in his post-career. And he was like, so I had a kid at my show. And he was like, you know how Charlamagne is. Charlamagne just like blood in the water.
Charlamagne is such an interesting fucking guy, man. You know, I've watched that Rick Ross put some respect on my name.
Oh yeah, no, the Birdman one.
Birdman. I'm sorry, but he goes, would you say this to Rick Ross or something?
Dude.
And he was like, yeah, dude, it's so.
Why are you pulling up on the radio guy? You didn't pull up on Lil Wayne like that.
You look, all respect to Charlamagne, but he's not a gangbanger. And he was he's just a regular guy like us. He must have been shitting fucking bricks. Because Birdman is definitely a guy who has no problems throwing hands.
And the best part was watching Envy was like, Envy went into business mode.
Tall as shit, by the way.
Yes, dude, listen, Envy was the one who looked like he was with it, though. He was like, yeah, cool, let's just get this thing rolling. Let's start record this. He immediately was like, oh, this is a viral clip for sure.
Dude, I did radio in New York, and just no disrespect to anyone else in that building, but like it wasn't radio that it was radio that they set up, but it wasn't the best.
Right.
It was okay. It was great.
Right.
And I had to ask him, sometimes I throw Xanax in my pill tray and it's a treat. It's like I pop it in, I go, God damn it. That morning I go, God damn, I think I just took a Xanax. And it's usually when I break them in half.
Are you playing Russian roulette with a little pill pack?
Once a week. Once a week I throw them in. Just to I'll catch it. Usually I'll catch it and I'll go, no. Today's not a Xanax day. I'll throw it back in, and then I'll throw it back on an empty day and go, I dodged it. But that morning I took a Xanax. We were in Soho, and I took my assistant Pete said, I'm pretty sure radio's about 40 minutes away.
Right.
And I probably should not. Well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're never gonna find the fucking building.
Right.
So I was like, okay. So we get up. He goes, that's so funny. The map says it's a 3-minute walk. And I went, what do you mean? He goes, 6th Avenue is all the way up there. I go, no, 6th Avenue goes all the way down the island, Pete.
Right.
Like everything's on 6th Avenue.
Right.
I go, you thought 6th Avenue is up where fucking Sirius XM is? And he was like, it's not. And I was like, motherfucker. So then all of a sudden I have time for the Xanax to kick in. So now I'm doing radio.
Right.
I was the best listener. I literally thought to myself, next time I do Two Bears, One Cave, I'm taking a Xanax because I listened so well.
Right.
But I go to take a piss. I walk by, I see this big dude with Envy's face on it. Because Envy does not look like a big guy.
Right. No.
He looks like
you only see him sitting.
Yeah, he looks like
he's buried behind the mic.
And he's a radio guy, and all radio guys are always tiny.
Yeah.
They're always way smaller than when you get there. And I just go, DJ Envy?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm no joke. Google how tall he is. I think he's 6'4". Like he's a large fucking man.
Yeah.
And he's in shape.
Yeah, oh for sure.
I thought he was overweight. Yeah. I thought he was overweight, and he was probably 5'7".
Yeah, you thought he was kind of short and stubby.
And I went
polar opposite.
Whoa,
polar opposite.
And then immediately I start scoping around. I go, Charlotte, because I know that brand wise it doesn't line up that I'm a huge Charlamagne fan, because it's like it doesn't seem like I'm a fucking 50-year-old man. It doesn't seem like I love hip hop, but I love hip hop. I love hip hop, and so.
I'm seeing 5'7", 5'9", and 5'10".
Yeah. He's not.
Oh, it's not close.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's a taller dude.
That's how the internet fucks us.
That's it. That internet. They say Joe Rogan's 5'3".
Yeah.
And he's not.
Yeah.
So anyway,
he's a big guy. So did you bump into Charlamagne too?
I just walked right in their studio.
Oh,
walked right in their studio. I went, just give me a heads up. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
And I wanted so badly to go. My name's Bert Kreischer. I will give you the best radio interview you've ever had. I know everything about you guys.
Yeah.
If you have 15 minutes, give me 5 of them, and I promise you'll ask me to stay for another 5 after the 15.
Right.
Like I will deliver. I will tell the machine story. You can talk about anything, and I will give you everything you want. And I didn't do it. I just was like, I'm out. I don't want to.
You should have shot it, dude. Charlamagne's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious, what you first got like Dewey Hall stuff, like just going to jail stuff as a kid?
Just like fucking being a dumbass kid. Yeah. Just like we're like from like everybody else I know. We're like from a real middle, lower class community. So we were just
in Nashville.
In Nashville, yeah. Antioch is South Nashville.
Antioch,
yeah, for sure. That's my brother with me, by the way. That's my brother.
Antioch sounds so redneck.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, dude, it is a white trash bash. You'd love it.
It's like the last name Crabtree.
Dude,
like there's
tons of them, lots of McCoys, for sure. Tons of McCoys, tons of Crabtrees. You would love it. You'd kick your fucking shoes off in the trailer park and that's my wife. My wife's the bell of the ball.
My wife's trailer park.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. She would it'd be a pig and shit.
Yeah.
It is fucking it. So we were just neighborhood shit, you know, fights, fucking drugs, guns, just shit that happens in those kind of, you know, the kind of community I'm from. So we just kept like revolving door of the system. So, and then when I got charged with that adult crime, which was a pretty serious crime, that was my turning point of being like, oh yeah, I'm fucked. Like I'll never get it. Tennessee has I'm like 15, 16. And Tennessee has a zero forgiveness policy for violent offenses. So, like, you can never get them expunged. It's like you have to go presidential or governor pardon. Like, there's no expungement. There's no, I've been a good man for 20 years. Can we get this off my record? It's like, you're fucked. So, knowing that at 16, which is also why I don't talk politics, because I just, like hate our government in general. So.
And by the way, this is going to sound crazy, but the first time I heard you say that, I went, I wonder if that's how, because my only takeaway from being on jury duty is how it is a revolving door for young black men. All you see is white people and Asian people on the jurors. That's it. In LA, at least, it's white and Asian people. I mean, I'm talking, you go into a room, you can say, Bert, you've only done jury duty twice, but I've been in that room, that waiting room. It is just white and Asian people in there. Those are the only people that show up for jury duty, and it is black dudes with a white lawyer, black dudes and they're all young, and you can all see I don't know, you ever see posturing of fear, of the I'm not afraid look, and you go, well, I think you're doing it too hard. I think you really are afraid.
I think you're petrified.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so that when you first said that, I thought, my takeaway is, I bet that's why every black person doesn't want to stand for the national anthem. They're just like, fuck this government. This government's set up it's been fucking me left and right. Because I heard you say that.
Yeah.
And that's it sounds crazy.
No, dude.
But that was the first time I went, oh yeah, man, once you get put in the system, you realize this isn't set up for me.
It's a system to make corporations rich. They're not trying to rehabilitate people. You ever heard Corey Smith's music? You're from the South.
Yeah,
you ever heard Corey Smith? I was mad as hell singing "Fuck the Po-Po." My favorite line in that song is he says, if you were trying to keep the streets safe, you'd be giving out free breathalyzers in front of the bar.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be waiting 2 miles down the street to pull a motherfucker over. You're not trying to keep the streets safe.
No, yeah,
you're right. If you were trying to keep the streets safe, this is one bar in this one fucking red light town. You would have 3 cops out there with breathalyzers, seeing who could and couldn't drive, and ride sharing the other people home. Like, no, you're just here to make money.
In Florida, they go around and they put little green stickers on your license plate, and that way they go to a bar, they go to the parking lot, put green stickers on every license plate. That way, if you saw a car with a green sticker, you'd never know it was on there, but they'd know you had been at a bar.
That is, it's entrapment, right? It's just like, so it's like the system to me was like, you're not rehabilitating kids. You're just making the Corrections Corporation of America stock go up by making our tax dollars pay for $500 a day for a dude that got caught with an 8-ball of cocaine for the 3rd time in his life to sit there for 7 months. You know what I mean? And once I figured that out, I was like, oh yeah, we're just fucked. This system is just failing us, And it's also, ignorance is bliss, like you said. Like, I don't know anything about politics because I'm just so fucking pissed off. And I love when people are like, well, you can't vote, but you can encourage people to vote. I was like, to vote against the same government that took my right to vote? I was like, who the fuck thought that through? You want me to go encourage people to vote for a government that won't let me vote? No, dude.
It's like you leaving a Yelp review for someone who won't let you to the restaurant.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man, you should eat this place and tell me if it's good.
Yeah, for sure. They wouldn't let me in because of my dress attire.
Yeah.
But they
look good inside.
If they encourage me to tell y'all to have a burger, so let me know if it's as fire as they made it sound.
That would be some gangster ass shit. Is if you walked up and you got turned away from the restaurant, and as you walked out, they're like, make sure to leave a Yelp review.
No. Yeah, so I've always been like super against the fucking establishment in general. So that also saves me at a time where the world is so politically charged. And like every interview is like, so you're from the South, I'm sure you're conservative. I was like, oh, you have no clue who I am, do you? I'm like, oh, I'm anti-establishment. I am fucking all. I'm a proud American.
Yeah.
Is the flip side of that. Like, because I have family that was veterans and family who served in the military, and our father was a Marine. And, I have all these core values of like, look, dude, I am a fucking obese alcoholic that makes a living writing fucking songs. This country's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could never convince me otherwise.
You're going to hear that sound bite out of my mouth one day. I'm an obese comedian, alcoholic who gets money for telling dick jokes.
That's it. I talk about my pecker and get paid, dude. Fuck, America's great.
What was it like? What was it really like? Like, I got nervous the first time I went to camp, right? How bad is prison as a kid?
Oh, dude, you're petrified.
But like petrified, and like people can see it. What goes on in your head?
Well, you're just scared of the unknown, right? You're not really, because here's the fucked up part of being in that circle of life. You walk right in and find comfort because somebody's there, right? Yeah. It's like it's fucked up as it is. Like, day one, when you're coming through the holding tank of Juvenile, you just hear people, Jelly, what the fuck? What's up? And you're like, oh shit, what up, Dubug? The fuck are you? How long you been in here? He's like, 4 months. What are you doing? What are you here for?
Oh, you know people in there.
Yeah, you immediately know people, because back then Nashville was small. So, you know, even though they might be from the other side of town, reputations preceded themselves.
Yeah.
So it's like, that made it a little easier, but you're just afraid of, like, you hear war stories about other facilities. So you're always afraid of what the next facility is, and you never know where you're going. Another thing is, they don't, you know, you never get like a warning. They're never like, hey, next Tuesday you're going to this prison. It's just like in the middle of the night, they're like, hey, pack up, bus is leaving. You're like, what? They're like, yeah, you've been transferred. To where? Oh, you're going to, and then your stomach just drops because you're like, oh, I've heard horror stories about this place, or you know what I mean?
How much does prison live up? Okay, ready? How much? Compare it to you and your reputation,
right?
Like how much you live up to what people expect you to be. How much does prison live up to what it expects?
It's me, what we talked about at the beginning of this podcast. I don't know if we were live then, but it's literally our reputation.
So it's not as bad.
It's a little bit of urban legend.
A little bit of urban legend.
I mean, here's what I tell people. One, it's horrible in the aspect of, like, your freedom and civil liberties are taken. Like, that alone it don't get no worse, right?
That's a panic attack. I have a hard time with call times.
Yeah.
Like when I'm not even joking. When I go on set and they put me in a trailer and they say, we'll come get you, I get anxiety because I get anxiety waiting for someone to knock on the door. So yeah. I'll put signs, please don't knock on my door, just open it.
Yeah.
I'd rather you open my door than that knock. And then I'm like, motherfucker.
Exactly.
And sometimes I'll find myself getting so antsy that I go to set way before my call time, which was fine pre-COVID. Yeah. During COVID, they're like, hey, man, we need to keep you separated. And I'm just like,
I'm so scared of how much alike we are for real. I'm like that with just shows.
Oh,
I'm what they call a venue rat. Like, yep. I'm not the dude. Like, I get in the venue and I'm like, I'm safe here. This is my spot. I'm going to sit here all day. And they're like, dude, you know the door's not open for 8 hours. You want to go have lunch? I'm like, nope, I'll send lunch here.
Yeah.
I'm happy right here in the venue.
I bring my tour bus. That's
me.
I like walking in and
venue,
out. Yeah.
Bus, venue. I don't want to leave. I'm afraid I'm going to miss something happening at the venue while I'm gone for lunch.
Dude, I am such a tour bus venue rat that I cannot, like, I watch people go to hotels and I go, what if, like, don't you want to?
So much could happen here today that we need to know about. Yeah. And I think it helps me with the anxiety because, like, I'm in it already. So I'm like, I'm already here. I'm in show mode.
Yeah.
To go anywhere else, I'd have to get in show mode to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still the dude that's like, yo, let's go. I've been in town and people are like, let's go grab lunch. I'm like, let's just meet me at the venue. They're like, well, you want us to come right before the show? I was like, you can come now.
Yeah.
We can grab lunch here.
I got it catered.
Yeah. They're like, it's 2 PM. I'm like, yeah, come on. I'm hanging out. You know what I'm saying? It's it's the thing about, and also I know this, I've been wanting to nerd out with you for so long about all this because we're so alike in this aspect. I know you're like, you get ticket dates daily, right?
Oh yeah.
I get them every day.
Yeah.
I obsess about them just like you.
I'm waiting for a phone call from my agent who just called 8 minutes ago with updates on ticket counts from Fully Loaded.
Yeah.
Like, and I like,
but like your final, it just got off of it.
My final
2 days
settlement.
Ago.
Yeah. And
you want to know what the actual clean number was?
Because I invested a large sum of money back into the festival. Mm-hmm. But we did better than I think we anticipated doing in the festival.
Yeah.
Meaning I think we anticipated X number of tickets, but we opened up so many seats that we outsold we set ticket record counts in these stadiums. It's a cheat code. They can't sit 2,000 people on the infield. So, like, of course, we set ticket records.
For sure. Exactly. You're going to beat every baseball game ever.
I mean, every baseball venue is like, whoa, hold on. What were your numbers?
What was the headache of setting up there? My fear of base, because like at sheds, like when you did Brandon, because I'll be in Brandon later this year too.
Yeah.
Did you do Bancorp and Tupelo too this time or no?
I did in Brandon. We did
the Brandon Amphitheater, the Brandon, Mississippi. That's the one that got stormed out.
Yeah, it got stormed out.
I watched that one.
That was fucking great, man. I wish we could have. That's a beautiful venue. Seats 7,000. Feels like 3.
Oh, dude.
It's fucking insane.
So it feels like a theater.
So good that every single person that's on that venue has hit me up. Not every, but has hit me up in like, hey man, I want to do that gig. Because Red Rocks is 10,000.
Yes.
This is 3,000 less than Red Rocks, and it is in a fucking coffee filter. I mean, it's like it's right. It's just right there.
That's the best.
The biggest hiccup we ran into. My biggest hiccup was being concerned for the comics.
Right.
I was worried about the comics being afraid because our first show was doors open at 7, and the sun didn't set until 9:50.
Yeah,
it was the longest day of the summer, and so I was worried that the comics that went up during the sun were gonna they'd be in their head about it. The setup was such that we had one group in front of the pitcher's mound and one group behind the pitcher's mound, and there was a little space. There was going to be an hour intermission to sell beer. There were like certain things that I was worried about, and man, it flowed so smoothly.
So you set up 2 fucking stages?
I set up 2 seats. So I had this is the if this is the infield. So we set up on second base.
Okay. Yep.
Right behind second base.
Right.
And so we had a row of, I'd say maybe 1,000 seats in front of the pitcher's mound, like meaning pitcher's mound here, that was empty.
Yep.
Pitcher's mound was empty.
Yep.
And as was a line right here. And then we had another 1,000 seats behind the pitcher's mound.
I see what you're saying.
And then the biggest one that surprised me was Thunder Valley. We did
is that in Ohio?
No, that's Bristol, Tennessee.
Okay, yeah.
Thunder Valley on the raceway.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's where they did the country festival up there.
Yeah, I was terrified that it was going to be. Well, they did the country festival inside Bristol.
Okay.
Inside Bristol, they set up
the Motor Speedway.
Bristol itself holds 170,000 people.
I know.
170,000 people.
When did they do the UT? My brother's a big UT fan. When did they do the UT Virginia game?
Brought in field.
Yeah. Brought in a fucking football field.
Brought in a football field.
That's not fucking redneck East Tennessee as fuck.
Dude.
That makes me so happy.
I regret not setting up roots in the South because there's something very calming to me about the outdoors, the Spanish moss, the smell, the humidity,
right?
Everything about the South calms me down. The trees, And I actually said to someone at one point, I said, this would suck in LA because we're in the desert,
right?
And everything's manufactured. Like it was so fucking awesome doing that Southern run,
right?
That
what was the cap at Thunder Valley?
10,000, I think.
Oh, it's a big bitch, Birdie.
It was a big bitch. It was a big bitch.
You baby.
And it went. And we're on. They got it's in a valley. I didn't even think this through. It's in a valley, so the laughs are going back. We're caught in a valley. It's like the first time I ever did an outdoor festival when we started doing those drive-ins.
Right. The
first one I did was a little bit of a drug dealer's tease,
right?
Because it was in a rock quarry, and I was like, this is amazing.
Right.
It was like old school grass tiered stadium, old white white ticket booth with concessions, like old school, like Ponyboy Curtis style. And I went, I'm doing all these. And I did 70, and not all of them are that great. A lot of them are. But some, and shockingly, the ones that you'd think would suck were even better. Like we did one in Tulsa next to a highway, and it was fucking awesome. And people are driving down the street, seeing our big screens, faces on the big screen, driving down the highway at 70. But it was great.
How many buses, how many trucks were fully loaded?
4 buses, 3 trucks. No, 4 buses, 4 trucks.
Because y'all were setting the stage up every day, right? Building the whole production.
So we had 1 truck full of generators, 1 truck full of for the stage, one, and then 2 other trucks full of like all the sound equipment, everything else.
Yeah.
I think I could have, I may have to add 1 more truck to that. But then 4 tour buses. We had 1 for crew, which slept, I think, I don't know, it was all coffin bunks. It was just bunks.
Yeah.
1 for crew, 1 for the girls, 1 for the boys, like comics and you know, team members.
Right.
1 for the girls, 1 for the boys, and then we had I got a lounge bus.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
We'd get done the show, everyone go to the lounge bus, drink, smoke, fucking talk shit. We had 2 lounges in it, so one could smoke weed in the back, and then people who didn't want to smoke weed would sit up front, smoke cigarettes.
It's like the green room bus.
Green room bus, and then we drive that, and then when we got tired, we you know, big caravan. When we ever got tired, we'd tell him, he'd pull off side, we'd switch buses and all go to bed.
Oh, that's the way to.
That's where the investment in the tour came. So I was like, we could have very easily done, you know, we could have probably done, you know, maybe 3 buses,
right?
Maybe less if we just didn't bring people.
Right.
But I wanted to bring my daughter, her friend. They PA'd for us for a week, and I wanted all the comics to feel special.
Right.
Like I didn't want, like our very last day, I got a big inflatable slide. Right. I got pools, like big kiddie pools, filled them up with ice, and water was hot as shit in Mississippi, surprisingly. Set up beers, got music, got a dunk tank, and we all had like a pool day behind the venue. God, and it was like, awesome. And everyone was just like, this is the fucking, But I know as talent that when you're considered, or when you give give a little razzle dazzle to someone, when you show me that you are thinking about me, it for the rest of my life, I respect that. That's why I love Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
To this day, I was thinking about the other day, Joe Rogan, if you ever would mention something, yeah, man, I got a bullshit treadmill. He has a guy that hooks up treadmills. All really it is a phone call for him. He's, you know, maybe for Joe, maybe $5,000. And next thing you know, there's a treadmill outside your house that next day. And you're like, hey man, you didn't have to do that. So he goes, I know I didn't. That's why I did it.
Right.
A pool cues. I got a pool table, and I texted him. I said, hey, what's a good pool cue? And he went, how many? Who's playing? Well, say just me and the girls. He goes, okay, give me an address. I said, hey Joe, I have money. I can do. You just tell me the pool cue. And he goes, no, this isn't anything for me. Next day, I got fucking 8 pool cues sent to my house that are all fucking the best pool cue you can buy in the world. And you're like,
be careful taking them to a bar.
Yeah, dude, you've never touched your wallet around Joe Rogan, ever, fucking ever. But I know as talent, when someone treats you a little extra nice, it means it goes a very long way. There's a certain confidence that comes with being properly groomed, an aura, a vibe. You can tell by the way they carry themselves. It's called BGE. That's big groomed energy. And there's only one way to get that BGE, and that's Manscaped. I'd like to introduce you to their best and biggest ultimate hygiene bundle yet. The Platinum Package 4.0 Manscaped is the leader in below-the-waist grooming. Now, trust them with the rest. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code BERT. Let me tell you about the confidence you get when you shave your junk. The importance of being fully groomed. I'm not joking. My dick gets hard. When that first moment after you've groomed and you look at yourself, you turn yourself on and you go, that's the way it's supposed to look, the way she should see it. Their new Platinum Package 4.0 is the biggest bundle they've ever offered, giving you a bulk discount on Manscaped's top products. The Platinum Package 4.0 is on one-stop shopping for the man who deserves it all. The design package allows you to fully align your entire hygiene routine with elite products. Inside this, you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0. That's all I really need to talk about, because when it comes to grooming, that little LED light they have on the edge and the skin-safe technology, that is the most important thing you will ever need. It also has the Weed Whacker ear, nose, hair trimmer, the ultimate premium body wash, ultra premium 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, ultra premium deodorant, crop preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant, crop reviver ball spray toner, anti-chafing boxers. The Shed travel bag is going to hold all your goods while you're traveling. That's everything you need to know right now. Clean yourself up this summer. It's a hot summer out there. Present yourself fresh and clean. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code BERT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code BERT. Unlock your big groomed energy with Manscaped. And remember, when you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller. Like in hindsight, when I would have loved to bring some music, that would have been a great way to like, I don't know, maybe next year fully loaded. We're thinking about Europe. We're thinking about a lot of things.
I'm in, for the record.
Okay,
just so you know.
I think.
I'm in.
By the way, I think
even if it's just
one of us is not coming home on that one.
It's gonna be great.
One of us is not coming home.
Let the livers meet. It's I swear, dude. I think we'll I'll come out even if I just bring an acoustic guitar. Just come out and rock.
I would love that.
So I'm sure you know this. I am Joe Rogan. I'm a over the moon comedy fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I am like.
Well, that's why I was curious about your come up, because I always knew you as like, this sounds crazy, but as like one of us, meaning like podcast fan, guy on podcasts.
Yes, sir.
Like I knew you as us, and when I started seeing you pop, I went, oh man, he's having a minute. This is fucking great. Yeah. And then then that was a while ago. That was honestly, I remember. And I say one of us. I mean, I'm just meaning at like our level of like internet work.
Right.
Putting in the work on the internet where you start to pop. I want to say, I really honestly, like around Hey Big Boy or maybe even Secret Time.
Yeah.
Like I started seeing you everywhere going like, oh shit, man. Yeah. But I'm curious to your story of how it started happening for you. Because right now you're at a level that like, that not a lot of musicians are at, but definitely no comics are at.
Right.
Like and especially in the podcast circle, you've out-popped everybody.
Right.
So like, I'm curious.
First of all, just because I'm just like, I joke, I hired a publicist. I don't know if you heard this story, but it's one of my favorite. You'll appreciate it more than anybody.
I can't wait.
I hired ID Publicity, one of the biggest publicity companies in America. You name it, they do it. I mean, Madonna. First time I ever hired a publicist. And I just did it because I was like, I didn't want to do another podcast anyways, but I was like, well, I'm getting my feet around. You know, it's like, I had this weird thing that was like, I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, so I hired this publicity company, and the first thing when I hire them, they're like, well, what's your next thing? And I was like, yo, one of my homeboys is a comedian. His name's Andrew Scholes. We're doing a funny song together.
Yeah.
They're like, great, send it to us, right? I'm like, all right, no problem. So me and Scholes do Open Her Up, which is a song about the country, dead smack middle pandemic, right?
I remember that.
And it's like, we're just I'm doing a song with a fucking comedian, Bert. So we're being funny. ID drops me. Said it was too controversial, right?
Wait, was that my publicist company?
There's no way. They would have dropped you forever ago.
No, hold on. I think that was my publicist.
Yeah, I swear to God.
I'm going to tell you a funny story about this. Was it ID Pub?
Yeah, ID something. You know, publicity, whatever their name, ID Solutions or some of that weird shit. But
dude, I think that I don't remember. I had one publicist, and I was promoting a special, and they were like, "Can you get on Joe Rogan?" And I was like,
"Oh yeah, you're fired."
Did I just pay you $6,000 a month to tell me
to go to one of my best friends' podcasts?
And they're like, well, you know what? Just give us his number. We'll set it up. I was like, the fuck I am.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to be friends with Joe Rogan if he gets a call?
Yeah.
Hey, this is
this is before you and Joe.
Oh no, this is Joe and I were.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'd already done the show like 20 times at that point, 30 times.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, do you want to, and by the way, Joe's not the kind of, I mean, now things are changed obviously, but like back then it's just, it still is for me, but like you text Joe, hey man, I got a special coming out. Yeah, of course. What?
For sure.
Let me know what date.
I'm fucking in Austin.
Yeah.
Because you and Hinchcliffe just did one on the fly recently, right?
Yeah, we just we got interviewed in stem cells in the morning with my parents.
Yeah.
And then we just did a podcast that afternoon. Yeah. But look, I mean, it's so this company drops me for fucking with comedians. And at that moment I was like, oh no, this is where I belong. I doubled down. Mm-hmm. That was my clear moment of like, hold on now. Because I was telling somebody, I've never got more of an audience that understood me. I've done every music thing you can do practically within reason, right? Yeah.
Sort of fucking Saturday Night Live, right? And they don't get it. You do these interviews. I do fucking radio interviews like comics used to do morning radio to sell tickets. Yeah. Country radio, I'm doing the fuck out of country radio.
Yeah.
And it's like every now and then you'll get a dude who's like funny and fun.
Yeah.
But just fucking, they're not long form. It's short form. You're not getting to really fucking peel back an onion and fuck with somebody. So I finally was just like, dude, I'm doubling down on this shit. I'm not doing nothing. But when I came here, I have a new publicist who's awesome. She gets me.
Who?
Her name's Jennifer Vesio.
Okay.
She's an independent out of Nashville.
I just got an independent out of Nashville for Fully Loaded. I was like, well, I wish I knew the name of her. I'd give her a shout out. But like, I wanted someone to be in charge of it. And I wanted, this sounds crazy, but I wanted written press on the festival.
Right.
Because I in my head, I was like, if we're going to do a second year of this, I need press articles and press things that I can send to brands to get them on board so that I can make money this time.
It's also legitimizing what you do. Because it's like, when I first got with my publicist this time, she was like, what do you want? And I was like, I want to do the Tennessee and the local newspaper, which they ended up giving me the cover. Really? Front page of the newspaper. Last time I was in the newspapers for a robbery case. So so I was like, she got me the cover. And it's like, that was important to me though. It's like, I wanted a hard, you know what I mean? Like it was a piece of the legacy I wanted. But when I hired her this time, I was like, look, I want you to know the front end. I say fucking wild shit. I'm a wild fucking dude. And I have maybe 10 music friends and like 40 comedian friends, and I only do comic podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say extremely cancelable shit and satire all the time. She was like, no, I fucking got you. So when I came to LA this time, she was like, do you need me to set anything up? I was like, nope. Shab hooked me up with Bert. I'm doing Bert. I'm doing Shab. I was like, I'm cool. I did Bootleg Kev.
Yeah. I saw Bootleg Kev today. I actually watched it live.
Oh, yeah.
It live. I had a plan when we were working out this morning. Bootleg Kev seems to know a lot about hip hop.
He is, dude. He's like Rosenberg.
Yeah.
Remember Rosenberg up in New York?
He was one of my first finds. Him and his beef with Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Was like, I don't even remember. This is back when I wasn't selling tickets in clubs and I was in Canada and I listened to him. He did an interview with someone and he was talking about that beef he had with Nicki Minaj.
Right.
And how it turned into a friendship. And now she kind of leans
Rosenberg?
on him.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was Rosenberg.
Yeah.
When I compare Kevin, I love you, Kev. Don't take this one fucked up if you do. To me, Kev was like the West Coast Southern version of Rosenberg.
Yeah.
He was like that white DJ in hip hop that was really into the culture and was spinning records in the clubs and figuring shit out and then ended up on radio and has a syndicated show on radio now. And like, Kev's like a real dude. My manager is John Manili. He manages Joey Badass now.
Yeah.
He managed Jay-Z for fucking 2 decades. Jay-Z called him the consiglieres, like the big thing, you know? So he's like a super hip-hop New York guy. And whenever Bootleg Kev came, we got blackout drunk last night. I started drinking at fucking Kimmel, right? I was like, fuck it, we'll have a couple of drinks here. And then
they shoot that at 5?
Yeah, for sure. But you got to get there at 11. It was wild. So I don't know if you're like this, but
how was Chelsea?
Awesome.
Cool,
you know, so I got a cool Chelsea story. Chelsea is developing a TV show on me and my wife right now.
Really?
Dude, I did this Netflix special with Chelsea. I didn't know her from the Man on the Moon.
When was this?
It was called Hello Privilege at Chelsea. She was talking about white privilege.
I remember that.
Oh, it's so good, Bert. She had no clue what she was. I didn't know what either one of us was walking into.
Yeah.
So my people called me. They're like, hey, do you want to do this thing with Chelsea Handler?
I remember that.
And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. They was like, then my manager calls at the time and is like, hey, don't do this. This is meant to kill you. This is a setup. It's politically charged. She's going to come in and try to paint you as a Bible-beating Trump supporter, as a conservative redneck who's had white privilege. I was like, oh, no, I really want to do it now. There's no way. I was poor as fuck. We ate crackers and butter. I was like, there's no way she's going to come in here and clown me. And so she comes in to a barbershop in my old neighborhood. My barber's it's fucking hood barbershop, my favorite place on earth. If you ever just want to go spend a Saturday somewhere and laugh, go to a black barbershop. They're the best.
The funniest I've ever been in my life. Meaning, I have a handful of times where I surprised myself as a comic.
Right.
I've had a number of times. There's a number of times where it didn't land right, but for whatever reason, I roll the dice. Black barbershop called In the Cut over in the Valley, and we're filming it. It's Omar Dorsey. It's the dude who plays the Hawk in the Iron Man things, or like the Hawk or something like that. It's all black dudes, all famous black dudes. And they asked me if I'd come in and just be like the white guy. And I was like, yeah, sure. Because I know Omar real well. They're making fun of white guys as being gay. And by the way, I'm sure that anyone was famous that was there didn't say anything like that. I'm just covering bases. This is back when you could then when like wokeness hasn't really hit barbershops 100%. and they're calling just white guys gay, and they're like, you guys love gay shit. And I, by the way, one of my favorite things. I'm a fan. Okay, so if you're gonna point fingers at someone who likes gay shit, it's me.
Right.
Me and Tom Segura have a podcast based on our fantasy of being gay.
Right.
We buy each other birthday presents, a la gay men.
Right.
I mean, so yeah, I'm guilty. And they're like, but I'm like, name one thing we do that's gay. And they're like, when you guys pass out, you guys like write dicks on each other's faces and dicks and nuts. And they're like, black guys don't do that. And I go, yeah. Because you got to find a silver Sharpie. Place goes fucking boom. I just walk out and I go, that's my time. Thank you very much. But yeah, like but black barbershops are the fucking best.
They're the fun. You're talking about woke. It's the most politically incorrect environment ever. So I was like, this is a great place to bring her. I'll bring her to the hood barbershop in my neighborhood. So my barber, Whoa, is wearing a Trump shirt. He was wearing it every day, the entire administration.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking hood barbershop. He's just doing it to gaslight people, right? And it's funny because you see the mixed reviews anyways. You know, black dudes come in, they start an argument, a fun one, right? They never fought, but then you'd have another black dude that's come in like, shit, that white boy gets elected, they're going to shut down my mechanic shop down the street. We're fucked if the other white boy gets elected. We need to keep the redhead in now. So they're like always like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so she comes in, she's like a white rapper and a black Trump supporter. And I just was just being real. I was just like, oh, dude, you're starting that shit? I was like, Chelsea, you're as white trash as I am. She's like, I'm Jewish. I was like, Chelsea, you're white trash. I've read every one of your books. You made a living talking about your pussy. I was like, I've been to prison. Your books get spread around. They're soft porn. I was like, it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, 50 Cent calls you Gator. I was like, this is like a thing, you know? And at that point, she just like, you know, Chelsea's a tough laugh.
Yeah.
She laughs. And the moment she laughed, I was like, yes, this is going to be great. We end up having the coolest time. We don't talk politics. It ends up, we talk about my time in the system, of course, and kind of my juvenile and my justice reform efforts and shit. And then when the camera goes off is when me and her fell in love with each other. The camera goes off. And on the camera, I was like, I got some shrooms. Because, you know, I heard she shroomed or whatever, right? And she was like, oh, cool. And, you know, on camera, she's like, we'll do them later. Camera goes off. Bitch walks up to me and hugs me goodbye. Where are them shrooms, fat ass? And I was like, right here. She was like, come on. Connected. She took me to go talk with her at Princeton. Oh, we went to, me and my wife are smoking. It looks like Hogwarts. We're at Princeton just out there, me and my wife blowing fucking doobies, waiting to go talk to a bunch of.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude. Chelsea Handler Productions comes and develops a show on us. We're at fucking pitch. It's at Universal right now in like the final phase of development or whatever it is.
You and your wife look like so when you see the Habsburgs, right? And you go, the Habsburgs, for anyone listening, that's the bloodline that is royalty around Europe. They had a certain look, and you went, oh, that's what a prince should look like. No chin, big nose, hemophiliac, right? So you and your wife look like if they were going to put royalty in Nashville, that's what you and your wife look like.
Yes.
Like that's what royalty should look like.
Yes.
Like I haven't really seen too much of your all's blogs. But I saw one thing and I went, oh yeah, that if you get to make money in Nashville, that's where you go. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Like big trucks and fucking, and I feel like this is what, modest income in not Valley Village. I don't live there anymore, but in LA looks like is like, okay, nice, white farmhouse. Yeah. Throwback to who they really are. Okay. But then you go to Nashville, I go, oh, that's how I spend my money.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Literally fucking big redneck trucks. I just bought a bunch of quads and a bunch of four-wheelers because we got a place now that we can go fuck up. And my wife was like, so it is so funny because she's such a like Valley girl at heart because she grew up here in Vegas, right? Yeah. I don't know if you know this part of the story, but my wife was like a super high-end escort when I met her.
I did not.
And I was curveball.
I was about to go, no, I did not.
So good. I'm glad you didn't. But no.
Oh yeah. No, I know her.
Yeah. No. So when I met her, I was like living out of a '96 van, and I was doing like $100 a night shows. It's you and Leanne, kind of, right? Yeah. I was like fucking.
Leanne was a prostitute.
Yeah. Right. I wanted Leanne to like me. There that went. But it's fucking. I was dead broke, and we kind of, she just kind of took to me, and she was, really making money in the sex work industry, like real money. Like I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
Like, because where I'm
yeah,
from, it's like where I'm from, a prostitute is like $2 holla. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'll suck your dick for $50. This was, you know,
we never had a
$15,000 an hour.
I remember the first high-end prostitute I ever ran into was in Vegas. Me and my buddy Eddie were walking through the slots. She came up, and she was, to this day, handful of the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen in my life. Oh. And she came up to us, and Eddie and I were fresh out of Tallahassee, and she was like, what are you guys doing tonight? And we were like, oh my God, we're getting hit on. This is amazing. We're like, nothing. I was on TV at the time. It was like, nothing. And I was like, did you watch my show? And she's like, what? I was like, I have a TV show. And she's like, oh no, I didn't know. What's the name of it? And I said, something. She goes, you guys want to go get a drink? And we're like, fuck yeah. And I'm looking at Eddie like, I hope she has a friend. And Eddie's like, are you here by yourself? Do you have friends? She goes, no, I have friends. You want me to call a friend? And we're like, yeah. And she goes, what's so funny is now I look back and I go, it wasn't that expensive, you know, theoretically. She goes, $3,000. And I went, huh? She goes, $3,000 for an hour. And I went, what are you talking about? She's like, if you guys want to fuck me, it's $3,000. And we were like, I remember $3,000 seemed like the most crazy number. Now I look at it and I go,
oh yeah,
let's talk for an hour first.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got 6. No, she was like that. She was like a, you know, I mean, dude, 15, 20, I mean, real money.
Really?
It was in like, if she ever writes a book, which she wouldn't because she's too gangster, but if she will write a book, but not about this. But if she ever like released her diary, we're talking about like CEOs of like oil companies.
Oh, I
like
bet.
People you know what I mean? They're like super, but and she was, I didn't understand the concept of it because I'm a fucking old Southern crack dealer, right? I'm gonna fucking sell you cocaine in the bathroom, kid that's trying to be a rock star, you know? And I'm just like, I don't understand this. But I didn't have a problem with it. You know, I was like, fuck, it's way, you know, if it's that high end, I'm cool with whatever. She helped me she helped finance Addiction Kills. She helped hire a lawyer to get custody of my daughter. She got me a place. I didn't have a place. I was homeless. I was living in the van because I wasn't home enough, you know?
Yeah.
So, and my daughter, her mother ended up hooked on heroin, my daughter's mother, and me and Bunny got married, and Bunny helped me get custody of Bailey, and she just bet the farm on me.
Sometimes you find those badass bitches who, like yesterday, perfect example, yesterday, Leanne, I didn't realize this, but she booked the dental appointment. I thought we were doing it for this. This was a consultation. This was an operation. And I didn't realize, and she said to me, aren't you glad that's done? At the end of this, I said, last night, I said, you just fixed my mouth for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
Like, I go, you know, I would have never done that, right? Mm-hmm. She was like, I know. And I was like, no, I don't think there's nothing I can do like that for you. Like, I can't ever help you the way you, like, there, some people, I won't say women, but some people just fucking are like angels like that. Right. They have that ability to kind of fucking, and I think we married them.
Yeah.
We got lucky enough to marry them.
We got married. We found that person that gets it and gets us. Man. You know,
I can't wait till we can all go out. Your wife doesn't party, right?
She'll party.
She parties?
A little bit. She's not like she used to, though. So she got sober-ish a couple years ago. I'm still fucking go for the gusto, of course. Yeah. So. But the difference between me and her was she was wild.
Really?
You're like, I'm like, I'll go out and party, but like, dude, Bunny was like, the probably first 5 interactions we had at casinos, she was feeding me just nails of cocaine. And then at the end of the night, I'd be like, got a Xanax? She'd be like, yep, pop me off a bar. You know what I mean? Like, she was like, wild. You know, she was in that Vegas casino fucking, you know, she didn't even understand how much money she was making.
That's, Leanne's definitely not giving you nails of cocaine.
Yeah.
She definitely.
So she got, but as she's like, the years went on, you know what really happened? She probably wouldn't want me to say this, but she got into mama bear mode, kind of. You know, Bunny didn't have kids. And then when we got custody of Bailey, it was like something clicked with her. It was like, oh my God, we're completely responsible for this child. And her mother's disappeared on heroin at the time, which she's sober now, thankfully. But it was like Bunny just went into like fucking, whoa, figure this out. Like changed her whole shit, started podcasting, started Patreon.
Her YouTube page is pretty big.
Yeah, for sure. Her Patreon's crushing. So really? And she does like anywhere from 600,000 to 1 million downloads a month on the podcast through all the platforms.
That's fucking crazy that this world didn't exist for like guys like me and you. I knew I was smart. Like, do you feel like this sometimes? I have to say that you and I are similar, if not identical sometimes. Is like, I knew I was smart. I knew I was passionate. I knew I could only be passionate about one thing, and that's comedy. But I also knew I also have good ideas that I feel like sometimes, like, and in the old system of Hollywood, I was not valuable. I didn't have the flair. I didn't know how to walk into a room and with confidence and put everyone down so that everyone looked up to me.
Right.
I just knew how to do what I did on my own level. And now I look and I go, God, man, I'm so lucky the business model changed.
Right.
The business model said, hey, it's artists first. Let's start with artists first. You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you something though, and I'm gonna give you something you need to hear if nobody's told you this, Bert.
Please.
You and your people changed the business model. The business model didn't change, Bert. Y'all changed it. The U's, the Rogans, the Tommy Buns, y'all changed the business model in a way that's changed everything. When I literally, my publicist was more, if God, I hope I don't get in trouble and kicked off every show for this ever, was more excited about me nailing down the Bertcast just because of us being fans.
Dude.
Me, and people connecting us, right? Than she was me playing Kimmel.
Really?
Literally.
Well, it was an amazing Kimmel appearance.
Thank you.
It was an amazing Kimmel appearance.
Thank you, man. It was surreal. I don't know if it's like this in your business, but you know how it's special night for you, right? Where you're like, I've been crushing this in theaters and comedy clubs for a fucking year. Mm-hmm. But for the next fucking 3 nights in Cleveland or 2 nights in Cleveland, I got to put on the best fucking show I've ever done, right? Yeah. It's like, that was the first time I felt that, Bert. When I'm like, I only get to do this once. I've got to like really fucking sing today.
I only get to do that
like,
once.
This is it. Like, I've got to sing better than I've sang all month. This isn't drunk at a bar singing with fucking 5,000 Jelly Roll fans. This is like, oh, we're all having fun. If I miss a note, who cares? They want to hear it. We're kicking it, right?
You murdered it.
Yeah.
Murdered it.
I was dialed in, Bubba.
And all I could think was, this sounds crazy, but I was like, all I could think was, like, I hope he gets to do that on Rogan.
Oh, God.
I in my head, I'm like, because you and Rogan, I mean, Rogan would fucking eat you alive. He'd love you, but
it's my dream.
He's a big music fan.
Oh yeah,
and especially your genre of music. Right. He's in. Me turned on the world to fucking God damn it.
I thought Sturgill was one of them.
Sturgill Simpson.
Sure. Yeah.
Sturgill Simpson.
I thought that's what you were thinking.
Yeah. Sturgill.
For sure.
I mean, and he loves that shit, but he loves a good fucking party too.
Yeah, for sure. No, dude, I'm huge. Me and
Have you
Shop,
done Tommy's yet?
I haven't done Tommy yet. I haven't got to meet Bunch yet. I really want to meet Tommy bad. I've just, it's just lucky for me. Shaw fucked with me early. Theo, of course, I seen Theo and Spade last night.
You know what we have to do? We have to have you do it. We'll have you on as a guest bear.
Oh my God!
But
I just watched the guest when you missed it when Ron was there on the bus the other day. So I don't listen to music.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't want to be influenced by what's happening, right? I don't want to ever be in the studio writing a song that accidentally feels like a new Drake song.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to it too much. That's how I got into podcasting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like when I'm on the bus, we're playing podcasts. Like, we're like, we're listening to comedy or we're watching specials, and we're like, fucking, I hope we get a chance to talk about this too. I want to nerd out about how much I dissect specials like I'm a comedian, which I'm far from.
Let's talk about it right now.
But I fucking love Shane Gillis' special.
Okay, let's talk about
Live from Austin.
Okay, what did you, I'll tell you my favorite part about Shane Gillis' special.
Okay.
Without a doubt. It starts very cold with a joke. It's a great joke. And then they do the intro and then they go into the special.
Yes.
It's my favorite part because I need to know, I need to be pulled in immediately. I watched, well, that one doesn't count, but I watched a special the other day that was, it had a 5-minute intro. It's a 5-minute intro before the first joke. And no funny, just like, like a scenario or whatever. And I kind of thought to myself, it's a tremendous waste of time in a comedy special.
Yeah, for sure. No,
like just so we're clear, I know where I'm at in my act at 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes, on Secret Time at 5 minutes, I had told you 3 secrets. I told you 2 jokes, and I was already into a story about being a bad dad, grabbing a Coors Light. I just watched it with my dog the other day.
Yeah.
Because I was putting it on for my dogs, and Peter and all them were in there. I was like, I put my specials on for my dogs.
Yeah.
And I
hear your voice.
And at that moment in the special, I realized this was going to be a good special. And it's when I grabbed a Coors Light instead of a
and you were like, fuck it, I'm committed. Or
yeah,
I don't want to step on the joke for those who haven't seen it.
The joke was, no, fuck it, it's too late.
Yeah.
I said, as soon as that beer hits your lips, it's like a finger in your ass at an orgy.
Yep.
You got to decide what man you are. Do you push back into it or you pull away from it?
Yeah.
I pushed back into it. I killed that Coors Light.
Yeah.
Then reached in my pocket and prayed there was another Coors Light. Who wants a fucking Bud Light if you just had a Coors Light at 8 a.m.? And when they started, that's 5 minutes into my specials. Like, I'm not the best in the game. And there are dudes way better. And there are guys going for different things. But like, I would argue that that if you were putting out a music album and your first 5 minutes was you telling a story, you'd be like, I think I'm missing out on the music part.
Right.
You should have a 5-minute song to open your comedy. You know, like, but that was what I loved about That was what I loved about
Shane's. I loved how he would, his setups, the storytelling. I love it felt like the most relaxed special I've watched in forever. It's almost like he didn't give a fuck he was shooting a special. Like, I thought I was in the comedy club with him. And that felt different for some reason. I don't know why I don't get the expertise stuff like y'all do, and I'd love for you to tell me why I felt that way. But watching it felt like I was just in the club. I felt like we were at Zany's, and Dorfman was sitting next to me like, you got to watch this guy. He's fucking funny. And then he comes out and crushes. Because I didn't know who he was, man on the moon at the time, right? I didn't catch none of I went back to the Gillian Keefe shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Shane has an insane relatability that he doesn't force. It's natural. I don't want to say too much about. I just spent 2 weeks with the guy, so I've assessed a lot of what makes him great or what I enjoy about him, and I know it now. I do that not to ever replicate it, but to see what am I doing. What am I doing? Certain things. Maybe for someone it's inflection, like with Sam Kinison. We know we loved when he would raise his voice and get high.
Yeah.
Right. That was like something you go, oh, that is different, it's special. Shane has little nuances that he does that I'll tell you, but we'll edit out because I don't want to tell you and then people notice them. What I love about him is, very candidly, and this is my love letter to Shane. I hope he hears this one day because I know what he'll tell me. So Georgia, my oldest daughter, their generation, they don't. I don't know the right way to say this, but like comedy is the enemy, because comedy is making fun of all the social justice things they hold so precious.
Right.
I'm not saying that one is right and one is wrong. I think it's great to acknowledge, what's going on in this country and to stand up for certain things. Shane, all the things Georgia finds precious, Shane are all of his bits. I mean, like everything that my daughter Georgia goes, you can't joke about that. Shane jokes about it. Right. So my very first day, Big J misses his flight. And Big J is Georgia's favorite comic alive. Big J Oakson's Georgia's favorite comic alive. Big J and David Tell are her number one and number two. But Shane goes up, and I'm watching Georgia, and I'm thinking, how is she going to react to Shane, who takes all the precious things and then basically goes, those are all my bits.
Right.
She was crying, laughing, and she couldn't help it. And she would grab her mouth and then look at me as if she was busted. And then she goes, Dad, you can't help it. The way he says it, Dad, it's like, Dad, he can get away with it.
Right.
Because like, he's a good guy, but like, it's hard to explain, Dad. And then at the end of the night, I said, try to explain it to me. And she goes, well, it's like the way Shane does comedy. Like, he says the thing that you kind of have thought, but you've never said out loud, but then he says it for you. But he says it in such a surprising way that it catches you off guard and you can't help but laugh. I go, baby, that's comedy. That's comedy.
Yeah.
To watch Big J, Shane, and Dave, that's who went right before me.
Right.
Every night I watched those three dudes. That's the only ones I could watch. She was working on the other ones. I got to watch everything. And usually I'd watch it with her on the big screen. To watch her cry laughing at jokes she heard the second time, or watch David Tell rephrase a joke or re-shimmy a joke. It was the greatest gift I could have ever given myself, because now it's like her sense of humor, the gloves are off.
Right.
She's making jokes I could have never guessed. It was the fucking greatest, man.
I don't know. I felt that way because some of the stuff Shane talked about in his special was that to me. It was like, I never thought of it that way. That's fucking funny. That makes a lot of sense. The Alabama football team stuff was a prime example of
he's amazing, man. He really is. He's
the special I like as of recent. You know, something I stole this from you. I'm gonna give you credit. I'm gonna give you your flowers in person.
Please.
You did a thing where you were talking about how you watched that most specials in the first 30 minutes, which is ironic because Shane's was like 51 and Stav's new one was like 49 or something, or 52. If you cut the fluff in the beginning and the end, it was still short of 40. Like, you can tell people are adopting that format. Yeah. Especially the YouTube side of it. I think Shab's Gringo Poppy was 39. Yeah. But, and it was interesting, but you said, so I come out with what used to be on the 55-minute mark. I think I don't remember exactly what you said. I want to fuck it up, so you correct me. But you tell your second best joke first, and your first best joke in the middle. Yeah, or it was reverse of that. So right?
I took all my laughs per minute. I took all the things, all the big pops, and I opened with them. Exactly. And then I took my closer, which was my best bit, and I put it at 22 minutes because I figured
that was it. That was
I heard Dalia had told me no one watches past 30 minutes. Yeah. And then the person, if you can go back into the things, you'll know who it is. But some person was like kind of oblivious, and they were like, they watched the whole thing. And I went, I know what I watched. I watched 30 minutes of, and I love Dalia. I watched 30 minutes of his. I watched 30 minutes of everyone's special. Yeah. And then the good ones, like Chappelle, you end up watching the whole thing. The one that opens with Kicker and the Pussy, which is possibly the greatest joke ever written, in my opinion. For sure. I love that joke. As soon as I saw that joke, I went, I'm watching the whole fucking thing. I go, why would you waste a great joke at the end if no one's going to watch it? Exactly. So now now my special's kind of like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing with it. I'm trying to figure it out. But
that's what's so fun about what y'all do compared to what we do. Imagine me trying to like write a song every night in a new city that was like, hey, I bombed on the hook last night, so I wrote a new hook. Y'all didn't hear it, but here's the new hook of the song. It's fucking nuts. But I stole that from you. And spoiler alert to Jelly Roll fans. The first can't wait till the day you see a Jelly Roll show. The first 3 songs, I come awkwardly close to blowing my load. Dude, I come out. Well, I used to come out the opposite until I heard you say that in a podcast. You changed my whole set list, bro, because I was like, he's right. I need to come right out fucking swinging for the fucking fences, especially. And I come out even harder. I have multiple set lists, of course. Yeah. But I have like, if I'm like direct support for somebody, like I'm direct support for Brantley Gilbert in Jacksonville tomorrow. Okay. I'm bringing the Oklahoma City Thunder out the gate, right? Like the first 8 minutes of my show, you're going to be like, whoa, there's nothing else for him to do. Yeah. But now the trick for me is, how does every 12 minutes after that I do something like, oh, I fucking forgot that's that jam. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or like, oh, I never heard somebody cover that song that way. So now I got to be creative, but I come out with that Bert mentality of like my first, I'll let you keep this in. I was going to say edit this part out, but I'll just say it. Out of my top 8 streaming songs, I blow 3 of them in the first 6 minutes.
That's fucking,
but that's how much of a load. I mean, I tell people, if you're a Jelly Roll fan, fucking get there early and excited.
Yeah. It's the girl that played my daughter in the movie. Hold on 1 second. I hope everything's okay. What's up? What are you doing?
She's hanging out at my house.
Oh, I'm doing a podcast. This is my wife from the movie and my daughter from the movie. Hey. Jess and Stephanie, that's Jelly Roll.
Hello, friends.
Hey, Jelly Roll. I'm sorry, Jelly Roll. Interrupted your pod.
Oh, dude, listen, I'm a piece of shit. Interrupt anything with me.
If I get a FaceTime from you guys, I answer it. You know that.
Yeah. We miss you. We're on our 3rd gin and tonic.
Yes. Jesus Christ.
I love that your friends thank you when they're drunk like mine.
Oh, you're the fucking greatest.
I'm an alien.
I'm on antibiotics from an oral surgery.
Wait, what?
I know.
Bert, you posted that picture of yourself with no beard, and I almost lost my fucking mind. I was
that's not. Jesus. By the way, I'm the ugliest fucking man without hair.
No, you were like, you're like a 5 out of 10.
I'm going to be 5 out of 10. I look like a 10. Like the 0 and the 10.
Seriously, if I were a lesbian, you would have been totally my type.
All right, I love you guys. I'll call you later. I'm going to finish my podcast.
Bye.
That's awesome. That's who's playing the movie. That's the actress from the movie.
She plays my daughter, and then the redhead plays my wife.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We got to wait till this war cleans itself up.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Bad timing.
Oh my God. And you know what? I had these plans of me hanging out with Putin, and doing shots, and him going, I love the machine.
Yeah.
This is my favorite movie ever. Yeah. And now it's fucking Jesus Christ. I don't know how he can do an about face.
Oh.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking today? I was on the toilet and I was like, do you think if Hitler knew the press that he'd get after, still 70 years, 80 years, 100 years after what he did, do you think he still would have done it? Do you think if they were like
he might have doubled down?
They would have been like, hey man, just so you know, this isn't going to age well. Like
the sad part is he might have thought legacy. Do more.
Do you think he had any idea he'd be who he is today?
Oh, dude, literally.
Out of Genghis Khan, Stalin, all the fucking Pol Pot. I think Pol Pot was after, but like after all the things, you think he was like, there's no way I'll be the big bad guy.
Do you think he thought about how much the mustache would mean? How many men, how that was like a symbol. You can never, ever, for another 100 years, you can't cut that mustache in your face.
Well, yeah, you can. Everyone that's ever shaved off a mustache has definitely.
For sure.
But is that something we can admit now?
I
because
100%
not one white dude ever shaved off a beard and didn't give himself a Hitler for a second and be like, it looks good.
I'm certain my iCloud has a Hitler mustache of me on some drunken
Isn't that
night.
crazy that if you cut a Hitler mustache in yourself and just post it on Instagram, you'd be canceled forever? And it's just a mustache.
Yeah.
Do you remember Michael Jordan had the Hitler mustache?
Yes.
He had the Hitler mustache in a fucking, and no one said a word. They're like, I guess black guys can get away with it.
You just can't cancel Michael, though. You just seen them kids trying to get a picture with him?
No, yeah.
What did tell him, like, go fuck off or something? He's like, get the fuck away from my car.
Dude, that guy's an inspiration for me. He'll smoke 4 cigars a day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just suck down cigars. Yeah, he had a Hitler mustache.
Yeah.
In a fucking commercial.
No, you can't tell Michael shit.
What if you just grew a Hitler mustache and you're like, what?
Yeah.
It looks good on me, okay? I've tried a lot of different mustaches, and it just looks good.
This is what I landed on. I didn't realize how Hitler-ish it was. Until
it is full-blown Hitler.
He had to have known, right?
There's no way. Well, hold on. Bougie, Badass.
Yeah.
The name of his documentary is called My Struggle.
Yeah. Boozy,
yeah.
Yep.
Which is Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
That's the name of Mein Kampf is My Struggle. He named his documentary after Hitler's book on his own. And I'm pretty sure he had never.
I will say this about Boosie in his defense. I think Michael knew that was a Hitler mustache. I don't think Boosie did.
I don't think Boosie did. I'm almost certain Boosie's not listening to Hitler documentaries.
I'm almost certain Boosie Badass is like, yeah, I just never even know. I almost bet Boosie you'd have to remind him who Hitler was right now.
I wonder if, because Boosie and I are both intelligent people enough to make, money. I wonder if like we were both on Jeopardy, who would win? Because I bet we both don't know a lot of shit.
You're setting me up right now. I hate you. But you're evil.
By the way, if we could if the people at Jeopardy are listening, get me and Boosie, who would be the perfect third? Me, you, and Boosie. Who do you think? Who do you think would win on Jeopardy?
It depends on listen. I don't know. I'm trying to think about what I think. This is why I'm going to get in trouble. I'm trying to think about what Boosie would know more about than me. I can't think of much. I thought maybe Southern rap because he's a pioneer of it. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm pretty fucking hip.
I don't know.
Southern hip hop.
My Southern hip hop is really only Miami, Atlanta, and Memphis.
Right.
And some Houston.
How deep does it get into Memphis? Like 8 Ball and MJG deep? Kingpin, Skinny Pimp deep?
Like Suave House.
Yes. Oh,
I was really big into Suave House.
Yep.
So like that Suave House,
UGK, Ghetto Boys, everything Jay Prince has done. Yeah.
No, I got to be honest with you. Jay Prince is someone I came late to the game with because I read an article that Jay Prince put out like a not a hit on someone, but was like, hey, we don't talk about this anymore. And everyone's like, Okay, man. Jay Prince said we don't do it, so that's
Jay
what
Prince
we do.
says the word is bond.
Yeah.
He's a guy you wouldn't know because he was a behind the scenes guy that was like, he's a real guy. First of all, I want to plug y'all together though. If you and Jay Prince did a podcast, it would be so funny and so awesome.
Well,
he there is nothing short of Southern rap history. Dude, that dude, when Biggie got killed, this is how deep his roots run in the streets and in hip hop. When Biggie got killed, the weekend Biggie got killed, Jay Prince flew to LA to sit down with Diddy. Sat Diddy down and said, listen, man, I know what's up. They're going to try to move on your mans. Y'all need to get out of here.
Really?
Yes, sir. Jay Prince, he has a book called The Art of Respect. And he talks about he talks about stuff that you don't know happened like breaks down the fourth wall shit of like the old, because he was the first independent record label with the Ghetto Boys. Before Cash Money, before No Limit.
I thought Master P was the first independent label.
Master P stole the book from Jay Prince.
Really?
Well, Jay Prince gave it to him. They were friends. But
okay.
Yeah. Master P came from New Orleans to Houston to see Jay Prince.
So I remember Master P coming out. So we got turned on to MJG and 8 Ball still. I used to come out on stage to Alcohol, Pussy, and Weed.
Oh,
it's one of my favorite songs. I used to listen to it in the car with my daughters.
Yeah,
and they didn't know. But we got turned on to MJG and 8 Ball, that Space Age Pimpin' album. And then was that the album or was it Over the Edge or something?
I think it was Space Age Pimp was the album.
Was it?
Yeah.
We got turned on to that, and then through that Suave House, and then from there, like the first time Killer Mike came out, I thought it was Mr. Mike.
Yeah.
So and when first time I heard Killer Mike, I went, so this is Mr. Mike. Finally, he's getting this come up like, and then I was like, oh, this is not the same guy.
I remember the first Killer Mike verse that I heard that really took off was that Bone Crusher record. So I'm outside of the club and you think I'm a pug. It had Killer Mike, Bone Crusher, and T.I. on it.
No,
yeah,
I don't even know
I got a hot 4 fever. Call that bitch Bonita. Yeah, no, he was there. This is way, this is 10 years, 15 years before Run the Jewels.
So I met so like Outkast was the next level for us. And when I was like last year of high school, first year of college, I think and I want to say Elevators, that album, whatever, the ATLiens came out when I was maybe like a first year sophomore. But that was the one that redefined everything and this is going to sound crazy, but I remember everyone was like, his partner's gay.
Yeah, for sure.
They were like, Andre's gay. Like, how cool is this band that like you got fucking
Big Boy,
and then he's with a legit gay dude, and we're like, oh, that's so cool. But I did a show with him in Cleveland
with Andre,
with Big Boy,
okay,
Big Boy and Sleepy Brown.
Yeah,
and I was like, if you don't think I'm meeting Big Boy, you're out of your fucking mind.
I rushed in the dressing room,
dude. Not only did I meet him, I opened for him. I went on before him, and it was 20,000 people. They were not there to hear comedy. They were chanting The Machine. That's all they wanted to hear. I'm like, I'm not telling The Machine to 20,000 people who can't hear it. And so what I did is I just took the camera that was on me and I said, flip it to the audience. Let's see who's got great tits. And so for 15 minutes, we just went around for women flashing, and Big Boy and his group were fucking loving me. They're like, you're brilliant. And I was like, well, I don't know about brilliant.
Yeah.
And so then I met him then. I talked to him afterwards, and then the next day at the airport.
When was this?
This was... oh yeah, Halston, you were there. Oh yeah, yes. Oh, that's right, you were.
What a fucking icon
from We Were Chick. I was about to say. And then the next morning at the airport, I saw him at the airport, and he was getting out of his car, and I just went, "Daddy Fat Sacks."
Yeah,
and he was like, "Huh?" I said, "Lucia's left foot." He's like, "Oh shit, you really are a fan." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, motherfucker, I am your biggest fan. But Outkast for us was the one that, I mean, like, so much so, and this is going to sound horrible, I don't mean this bad, but like Goody Mob's first album we all listened to, and it's not like maybe the best album in the world.
Right.
It's like we were all listening to Goody Mob. Like, did have a couple hits. But then T.I. was like, when I had kids, for whatever reason, I was ride or die for T.I. So much so, me and Shane Gillis and Big J Okerson were like, we should invite him to do our Lawrenceville, Georgia show. Come out and do stand-up.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm all for it, stand-up. I don't give a fuck. People may hate on him. I'm not me. He's that good of a rapper that I'm like, please do stand-up.
You know,
I hope 2 of your words rhyme in the middle of it.
You know what's crazy is that it's the reason I will never do stand-up.
You'll end up doing it once.
For sure, but I'll tell you why I'm afraid of it. T.I., one, I think I think I would crush. I think I could kill. I'll be honest. Humbly, but I've got a lifetime of painful white trash stories that at least I've got between you and Bern and my friends.
Yeah.
I got enough Josh Wolf to help me punch it up a little, right?
Yeah.
But my thing is, what I try to explain to people was we're watching T.I. develop because he's a celebrity in front of the world.
Yeah.
So it's like what you didn't see with other guys was like you didn't see the 6 years, 10 years, however many years it was that Bert was in fucking clubs with not a cell phone recording him fucking figuring out Bert.
Well, that is the beauty of getting successful when you've been doing comedy 20 years.
Right.
Is that no one sees, especially I was doing it when there weren't like cameras around. And there were at times, there's videos of me bombing. There's videos of me bombing really hard. But really hard, really uncomfortably. And trust me, if you saw them, you'd be like, I look different.
Right.
You'd be like, oh, wow, that's a young.
Yeah.
But like, that's the tough thing about,
he's such a celebrity. Like you can't, everything it's not like, I'm trying to think about a comic that, would have came through in the last few years that you see build. I don't want to name nobody and get it fucked up, but Shane's a great example of a kid who built it, I guess at the Cellar, right?
Shane?
Probably, if I had to guess,
No,
right? Is that where he cut his teeth at? Was in Philadelphia?
Yeah, like I worked with Shane back. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how long ago. There's a picture that'll tell you. Yeah. But I worked with Shane.
But he'll come through Nashville a few times, right? And core comedy fans will go see it. There might be some clips on the internet, but nobody's Googling or looking for him. He's developed, like, I'm such a fan of comedy because of the way y'all develop your acts, right? So T.I.'s like, you can't go there. He couldn't pop up at any club
Everyone
anywhere.
videotapes.
Immediately. You're going to watch not a phone out to, oh my God, it's T.I. to a phone out. So it's like, I think all comedians went through what he's going through. They just wasn't on TMZ for it the next morning because they were already, you know what I mean?
Well, no, I mean, I mean this respectfully. If I'm not that T.I. listens, but if he ever hears this, the respectful part is, there is, I don't know the right way to say this without sounding bad, but there's an arrogance when you're a celebrity that you know what you're doing because you did the magic trick of becoming a celebrity. So like, there's I mean this respectfully, but there's an arrogance to T.I. that as hard as he works to get rid of it, it's still going to be there a little bit.
Right.
Because he's so one of the best. Like when that whole Versus thing was going down and he was telling everyone, no, I'll put my catalog against anyone's. I'm a T.I. fan. He's not fucking around.
No,
he's got
his catalog.
You forget how fucking deep his catalog is.
Yes.
He said, what did he say to 50 Cent? I'll make you look like Nelly.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was, by the way, when he said that, I was working with a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
One of the really good hip hop artists. And we were having conversations about how deep T.I.'s catalog goes. So when you have a catalog that deep, when you go into stand-up and you're best friends with Dave Chappelle and he treats you the same respect, and there's going to be like a that shit's funny, fuck you guys. Whereas when you're young and you're nobody, there is a humility that you need to learn how to be funny. There's a humility you need to learn how to respect, and then you need to earn the arrogance of going, no, what I'm saying is funny and I'm sticking to this. I just got to rework it. So I'll give you a perfect example. When I first started stand-up comedy, I had a joke about that ended up working on a special. It's not the most brilliant joke, I know. But I'm going to tell you. I said I'm not homophobic, I'm a homochondriac.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the joke would stand alone. I knew it was funny, but I didn't know what it could be. And I just dropped it. And I was like, never mind, it doesn't work.
Right.
And then when I got older, I was like, oh, it's just got to be quicker. I'm not homophobic. It needs to be a subset of a joke. I'm telling you a bigger joke and go, I know what you're thinking. he's a homophobic. I'm not homophobic. I'm a hypochondriac. I'm not afraid that you're gay. I'm afraid that I'm gay.
And you'll fuck me and I'll like it. Was that on Secret Time?
Yeah,
or
it was
Hey
on
Big
Secret
Boy?
Time.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was such a good fucking joke.
And so, but what you need to do is be humble enough to go, I know that doesn't work. We're gonna have to put it back here. And then one day you need to be arrogant enough to know, fuck you, that works, and I'm gonna make it work. Louis C.K.'s, not to put words in Louis' mouth, but he was the one that said he got good enough. Once again, this is paraphrasing. He got good enough to be able to go back to his old joke books and figure out how to make those jokes work. And when you start as one of the best rappers ever, as a comic, it's very hard to find that humility to go, yeah, you're right. You guys are right. Because you've already got that arrogance as a rapper. You guys are right. That shit isn't funny. Fuck me. By the way, I haven't seen him work. Maybe he's like the most humble dude in the world. Yeah. But like,
I just think because he can't do it privately is that
it's impossible.
He's not going to be able to work it out that way. Because what I love about comedy,
you're just performing in front of fans at that point, and they're going to give you opportunities. They're going to give you leverage. It's why I do like a residency at the store in the belly room and don't promote it, is so that people that don't know me go there, and then I can find out stuff is really funny.
If it's really landing. No, and that's what I love about what y'all do is that y'all actually work and try to figure the end. You'll have an idea and it'll miss, and you'll be like, I like the idea though. Maybe there's another approach. There's another way.
I'm stuck on this. I'm stuck on this story. I'm stuck on this story, and I at the point where I go, I know this story's gonna work. I don't have an end for it. I know that every night I got to go on stage. I got to tell that story. I know that I don't have an end for it. I know that one day my heels will be in the ground like Omaha Beach, and I'll be forced to have the courage to find it at some point. That's a bad example, Omaha Beach, but I just listened to a documentary about it. But it's really hard to start stand up when you're famous.
Right.
It's very, very, very difficult. And dare I say, and I don't mean to, dare I say, it is a very special person that will start stand up as a famous person and be better than someone who started as a nobody that had the 20 years of proper training anonymously and struggle and bombing when no one saw it and being able to rebound because it was in an anonymity. Yeah. It's so fucking difficult that only a few people can do it. It's been done. We're watching it happen, but it's not. It's few and far between.
It's solely the reason that I feel the same way about music.
Oh,
right.
Without a doubt.
100%.
Did anyone ever hear Dane Cook's single?
Oh, dude.
It was the one time he put out a single. Not that bad, but man, because he's a famous comedian, people were like, nuh-uh.
It's just, well, it goes back to this. I've wrote fucking 2,000 songs.
Yeah.
So it's like by nature, I don't have 20. That's why I always joke. Everybody's like, you should do comedy. I'm like, I don't have 20 years to give to it. I've already picked the thing to put my 20 years into. I don't have 20 years to give away. The way I'm treating this liver and this heart, it's not going to go that way anyways, right? So it's like, I just need to ride the pony I'm winning on and have the ball.
It's summertime. The days are hot and the grill's going. It's the perfect time for enjoying wine with friends and family. I wouldn't mind a glass of wine tonight. I shouldn't, but I want one. That's what summer makes you feel like. Did you know that summer heat and sunlight can spoil your wine and your good times if it's not properly stored? Now's the time to get those bottles out of the boxes and off your countertops and protect them with the wine fridge from Wine Enthusiast. Wine Enthusiast designs and offers the largest selection of wine coolers for every drinker, every budget, every size collection, from 6 bottles to 600 bottles. Plus, expert wine storage consultants are available by phone to help you find the right fit for all you needs. Wine Enthusiast is the premier destination for the wine lifestyle, offering an incredible selection of unique wine accessories, glassware, furniture, wine storage, gifts, and more. Don't miss Wine Enthusiast's 4th of July wine cellar and furniture sale. Save up to 25% on wine cellars and fine furniture now through July 4th. Visit wineenthusiast.com or text Bert to 511-511. Text Bert, B-E-R-T, to 511-511. That's text Bert, B-E-R-T, to 511-511 today. Certain exclusions may apply. You may receive up to 1 additional text. Text fees may apply. Text STOP to opt out.
So I'll tell you what I told my daughter. She plays the piano and plays guitar. And we were talking one night, and I said, Bailey, I need to tell you something that's going to be hard for you to hear. And she took this really well. I said, I can write 1,000 songs with you, but I can't write them for you. Because if I could, I already did. I wrote 2,000 songs. I got 1,000 to give away.
Yeah.
I got 1,000 songs that never made it on any project to give away.
Wow, this is a great conversation. Keep going.
Yeah, so it's like I got 1,000 songs to give away. Like, it's like you talked about it one time. You called maybe it was Stanhope, and you're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Writing knock jokes."
Yeah.
I write a song a day, Bert. Whether I do something with it, record it, anything. At some point in the day, I'll at least write an idea a day, every single day. And I tell Bailey all the time, I'm like, Bailey, it goes back to the comedian thing. I'm like, Bailey, these people have been in these nightclubs 10, 15 years, 3, 5 nights a week, sometimes 6, 7 when they're really young and going after it. That's what they do. Just trying to find a way to make people laugh and figure out, just like I had to find my singing voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the exact same concept. It's like, that's the thing is T.I. willing to dedicate? You can't just pop up on a Friday and crush. You know what I mean? Because, unless you're coming in there and singing, fucking whatever she likes in mid-set, it's not going to work,
It was, you said something about that when you go, you're talking to your daughter, I've written 10,000 songs. I can write a song for you. You need to learn how to write them. That's the thing I compare it to that song. Do you remember when you were a kid, or that game? When we were kids, we played a game. I don't know if everyone played it, but it was like maybe in high school, someone would be like, I'm going camping and I'm bringing a tennis racket. What are you bringing? And then someone going, I'm going camping and I'm bringing a hockey. They're like, no, you can't go. What are you bringing? And you go around and you had to figure out the algorithm for the game. Do you remember that game as a kid? They used to, it was like, there was a trick, like whatever you were bringing had to have 5 letters. So that would be the thing. So then someone will go, I'm bringing a ... with 5 letters or whatever. And you go, you can go camping. What are you bringing? But you had to hear enough of them to figure it out. And by the first round, you couldn't figure it out. The second round, you couldn't figure it out. It was like the 10th round when you wanted to give up, that all of a sudden you saw the algorithm and you went, oh, Olsen, type in the I'm going camping game. And so that's what stand-up's like, is I can... My buddy John Mans is my cameraman. He can't tell a story to save his life. I'm never going to teach him how my brain works to hear a story, to know the important parts, to know the part that is engaging.
Right. He
has some of the most fascinating stories about, he met Richard Branson one time, randomly. If he tells you the story, it's 15 minutes long, and you're so bored within the first 5 minutes that he never gets to the Richard Branson part. So, for whatever reason, in my 10,000 work hours of telling stories, I can hear your story and go, oh, I know the peaks of this. I know it needs to be said early so that you can pay off at the end. I know how to and I said to him one time, can I just tell you your story? And then you tell it, like, that's how you should tell it when you tell it.
Right.
And he's like, please, because he wants the story to get laid, right? And I was like, let me help you, man. Like, let me show you. But you got to spend those 10,000 hours playing the game to figure out the algorithm, to figure out the thing. And that's what is beautiful about Doug Stanhope. Doug Stanhope spent 20,000 hours. So when I go to Stanhope with a joke, he can very quickly go, well, why are you telling this part? Right. And you're like, or he can say, you know what you should do? And Doug Stanhope and Dave Attell and all the greats, they'll give it to you in a riddle where you got to figure it out for yourself. They're not going to just fucking give you the punchline. They're like, well, I don't know. Like, I remember I was sitting with a great comic one time, and I said, man, this joke isn't working. They were like, or the story isn't working. And they're like, have you thought about telling some jokes inside it? And I went, oh. You just forget about it sometimes. Yeah. Do you see how?
Because the story's so good, you have
one player is designated as trip organizer. The trip organizer has to come up with a secret rule regarding the item that people can bring to the trip. Here's some examples. Item starts with a certain letter. So if you go, I'm going camping. I'm going to bring a tennis racket. What are you bringing? And the guy goes, I don't know, football. And you go, you can't go. What are you bringing? And then the guy goes, I don't know, a baseball game. And can't go. What are you bringing? And the guy goes, toothpaste. He's like, you can go. And everyone's like, why can he go? It was a tennis racket. So that's the game. We used to play it as kids.
That's actually a great analogy. It's a great analogy for songwriting too.
Yeah, but it's
Like, so that's why I love comedy, by the way.
I wanted to write...
The comparison of songwriting and comedy to me is so similar.
I wanted to write a song. So I wanted to write sincere music that is comedic in nature because I'm so bad at writing sincere music. Like that was like one of my white whales when I first started. Because I started as a guitar act in college. I would play guitar at fraternity parties and it would murder. But it was all like Pink Houses by John Cougar Mellencamp because the setup, the framing of that was so rhymey. I could not, for the life of me, crack the code of sincerity meaning something. My sincerity always came out as someone trying to be sincere, and you're like, did he just say date rape in this song? Was she raped? What the fuck? Like,
it's kind of like why is that in the story?
Yeah.
You know what songwriting is? And I'll give you this analogy because it's your analogy of storytelling. Once you know where the song ends, getting there so easy.
That's, by the way, that's the same as storytelling.
Right, exactly.
Once you know the end of your story.
Once you know, the rest of it's just spicing it up.
Yeah.
So it's like once I know what the payoff is, what my punchline is, so to speak, in y'all's world, it's like, okay. And then sometimes there's the occasional thing, and I don't know if this happens in comedy or not. I've been wanting to talk about this with you for years, is that sometimes in songwriting, it's like there's the payoff and you know where the payoff is, so it's just kind of finding the funniest way to get there. For me, the most melodic and telling a great story or evoking emotion on the way to the payoff. And then sometimes the melody itself is so strong that it can carry itself, right? So you're just in a place where you're like, it's not that it doesn't matter what I say here, but I don't have to be as thoughtful of the payoff because the journey is so beautiful.
Okay. So that's a perfect analogy. So I had a joke that I did in Hey Big Boy about going to Starbucks.
Just hold on, stop. That is in my top 10 bits ever.
Thank you.
I've got a top 10 for the record. I'll share them with you later. But I have a top 10 everything in life. I'm that guy. But
thank you. So I didn't need everything I said to the barista. I didn't need to be the funniest thing you ever heard. I just needed it to be funny enough to get me to the end, because it's all a misdirect. I want you to get lost in that's not the funniest thing in the world, but the idea is that I laugh at my own jokes. There's so many misdirects inside there, but I want to get to that's the reason. That's what's wrong with Cream, right? That's
where you fucked me up. That was the payoff.
So that's the payoff, right?
World, that was,
I remember getting a comment online. I have, by the way, no longer looked at comments, especially about my work. But I remember getting a comment online, and the guy goes, "This guy sucks. That is just Reddit jokes." And I went, "That is a guy who's dumber than he'll ever know. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, not realizing he didn't listen to the whole joke. He tapped out. He's so stupid that he actually didn't listen to the joke. He thought the joke was what I said to the guy about how I take my coffee. That's the myth." And I went, "Oh, that's the guy you want to lose in the joke. The dumbest guy on the dumbest guy on Reddit who's like, don't see this on the internet." And you're like, "No, you haven't." And then that's the thing. Once you get the end, then it's almost like I want the perfect analogy for this. I want the perfect analogy because I know it's there. I just don't know what it is. I'm gonna say skinning an animal. We skinned a buffalo one time in Crow territory, and it seemed so overwhelming to me until they got the skin off, and we had to process the whole animal.
Right.
Once they got the skin off, then you were like, "Oh, I think I start to see the cuts of meat." So once you get that end, then you can see the cuts of meat you have in that joke, and then you can go, "Oh, like I can't tell you the joke. Or I can tell you the joke. You just got to edit it out." That had no ending, but it had so much good stuff in the middle. The problem is, all the good stuff in the middle doesn't matter to me because I know I got nothing at the end. The fucking Machine Story. This is a perfect example.
Boom.
The Machine Story. I thought I had the end. I thought the end was tonight you party with us. I thought that would be the big end. It wasn't. The audience tells you what the end is. The audience will go, meh, you know, and then what happened? And you're like, huh? You're like, and then what happened? You're like, fuck, it's over. And they'll be like, oh, but did you party with them? And I was like, well, yeah, I ended up. And then I was like, now I'm telling another story. It wasn't until I got the fuck that bitch, this is Russia, that I knew I now have an end of the story. And that day, I can tell you the day, I can tell you what I was looking at. I was looking at a houseplant on the Columbus Funny Bone stage when I figured out the fuck that bitch, this is Russia. Once you have that, you go, oh, this joke's done. Now I just got to cinch up the middle, pull out, like almost like shake it, and all that loose shit falls out. You're like, okay, now I can just push it together, and now we have a story.
Yeah.
I think songwriting's
the Starbucks joke for me. This is why it did it for me, and it got in my top 10 because I really do have a top 10. The American Dream by George Carlin's my first one.
Oh yeah,
I just think that bit's so powerful and so funny. Right?
Yeah.
Doug Stanhope's. I used to open my show with this. Doug Stanhope's. The bit about I don't count on not drinking to have a good time. If I get up here too fucked up, whatever. Remember that. I don't want to do the bit because I butcher it, but I literally used to play that right before I walked on stage for people like, who, if I don't count on it, fuck, it's your fault if I fuck, you know what I mean? It's just such a good thing so it's a personal top 5 to me because of that.
I got a Doug Stanhope, my favorite joke. My favorite joke is him calling, have you heard it's on his new album where he calls customer support in Syria or whatever?
Yes.
And that's my favorite. That I watched him tell that probably 4 years ago at the store. And it was so great to hear, and I respected Doug, but to hear a hacky premised joke done brilliantly.
Yes, and he figured it out.
Oh, it's the best.
You just made me realize that my top 10 might be my top 10 comedians and just my favorite bit of theirs.
Yeah,
but for you with the Starbucks, it was because songwriting, the melody was so beautiful. I didn't expect to pay off, right? Because the melody of the joke in my world was like, this is fucking great. And if he does anything with it.
So the melody. The melody is a stolen melody. It's like a Beatles riff.
Right.
The melody is guy walks into a bar.
Right.
That's why the melody works. Guy walks into a bar. Bartender says, hey, man, why? I don't know. Guy leaves. Next day, guy walks into the same bar. The melodies, and that's based off of Stanhope saying to me, that's all based off of Stanhope going, I'm writing knock-knock jokes. We're as funny as those guys, right? How come we can't write guy walks into a bar? So I tried desperately to write guy walks into a bar jokes. Guy walks into a bar. Guy walks into a bar. Guy walks into a bar. Fucking beating myself up because that's the fun.
The light bulb just went off in my head now where you got that from, because in the joke you said, I was up all night writing jokes for this barista.
Yeah. Because I
dead ass got goosebumps, Bert.
Dude, I can't tell you.
Because it just hit me where that came. Because I looked at it from on Jesus Christ, I've got goosebumps.
Dude.
I got because I looked at it like the melody. Because in the music too, a melody, like I'm in it. It's flowing so well. I didn't know if it had a payoff. I didn't care. Maybe it went back to Joe Rogan somehow because that's kind of how it started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or Tom. I was like, I didn't know, but I was just so lost in the melody of it that I was like, and then when he was like, and there was 2, and at that moment I was like, ha, this is finna turn. You just get that moment as a fan where you're like, this is fixing to go somewhere I didn't think I was going to go. And in my world, it's like when somebody writes a song, and the title leads you to believe it's something. And all the way to the chorus, you think it's something. And then it's not that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Say
that again one more time.
So like
the title leads you to believe it's something.
Right. So like Jimmy Allen just dropped an album, good friend of my country guy. He's got an album, I'm probably going to butcher because I only heard it once, but it's called Habits and Heartbreaks or something. And I was like, I get it. This is going to be like a play on the word of like breaking a habit or breaking your heart. Okay, whatever. And then his tagline ended up being, habits are harder to break than hearts sometimes.
Oh.
I just watched it happen to you too, right? Because it seemed like this is obviously what it's going to be.
By the way, a lot of bad habits have broken the good hearts.
You see what I mean? So it's like when he did it, I was like, I was listening skeptically like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking, I was like, there's no way that I'm not going to like, habits and hearts. I'm like, there's no way that I'm, I knew immediately there's going to be a break in here because habits, heart breaks, broken bones, but I didn't know. And then the way he did it was like, And the other one is like your melody of a joke is I Wish Grandpa's Never Died by Riley Green. You ever heard this song?
No.
If you want to cry, listen to it. And it's called I Wish Grandpa's Never Died. So the whole song, you're like, I know what this payoff is. There's no way, unless this turns into a funny song, he says some morbid shit, this is going to be sad. And it didn't matter that I knew. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it was back to the beauty of your melody. When I go back to the early part, when I was like, sometimes the melody's so beautiful, it doesn't matter. It's like the melody of that joke was so beautiful to me. I knew that the joke was going to be a racist bait. Like, you knew what the setup was. It was the kicker in the pussy joke by Dave Chappelle, right? Like, fucking the most genius shit. Like, I know what's coming, but I'm still like, what's he
I didn't
gonna
even
do?
know it was coming. That's why I loved it. Is I didn't know it was like it's. So this is a bad analogy, but it's like it's what made Dave Matthews to me so good. And I know people shit on Dave Matthews. I saw him recently. He looks amazing. He played the hits and he had fun on stage. And I went, all right, let me be that guy. Let me be that guy. Let me be that guy forever. I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
But what was great about him is that he would change direction so quickly in a song. And that's what I love about Kicker and the Pussy is that was almost like a Dave Matthews song for me, where it's like, and then I kicked her in the pussy. I told you I was dope, son. Yeah. Like but I love that it just changed direction. The melody of comedy is recognizable at times. It's why everyone steals people's rhythm. Like Dave Attell's melody, his rhythm is hey. I mean, it wasn't until I worked with Dave Attell recently that I go, even at 49, I've got hints of Attell still in my act. Me and Segura say it all the time. It was like every joke you'd write, you go, I want them to recognize this as a joke. So you go, you know what cops hate? When you touch their faces. Like, it's almost like Dave Attell told us how to do it. Right. Mitch Hedberg. All right. Yeah. I mean, you hear Hedberg and so many people, Dane Cook, so many people stole the melody of these comics that found a rhythm that worked for them. And then people would just rip it off. And it's the hardest part about comedy. And this is why when we talk about T.I., we go, I wonder if from hip hop, he already has his rhythm down, but you got to figure out your own
whole different pocket.
And you got to figure out how to tell things in different rhythms.
And it's a whole different kind of storytelling too. I compare, they're so similar in the concept of how they're put together, but it's so different as far as the payoff alone is insane to me, because sometimes we can say the most obvious thing. You always have to say the least obvious thing, or say the most obvious thing at the least obvious time. Yeah.
That's interesting you say that.
Is that a real assessment? Like I said, I'm not a, and the cool part about talking to you about this is you're just a music nerd that played a comedy nerd that played a little fucking music when you were a kid or whatever, a music nerd that tells jokes. I'm just a comedy nerd that fucking writes songs. I don't know anything about the true dynamics of comedy, except for I'm a fucking huge fan of comedy.
I wish I still had the one song I wrote that was so remarkably bad that any time people heard it, they got the greatest laugh of their life, because they convinced me it was good. And so then they'd have me play it, and then they had to hold a straight face as I played it, and they would go, and that's the best laugh you can ever get. The greatest laugh is not wanting to laugh at something that is truly hilarious. And I wrote a song called I think it was called Mary Margaret, and it was so bad. I wonder who would remember that. I mean, it was so bad. I played it for Mark Tremonti, the guitarist for Creed, and he had to, if I remember correctly, he had to bite his inner lip from not laughing. But they would have me play it, and they go, "No, Bert, play us your hit," and it was so fucking bad. It was so bad. But I can't help but point out. I think I'm so awkward sometimes in life. I can't help but notice the awkward thing and think that's all. Perfect example. Perfect example. I am the guy who would write a song about drinking a gallon of Kool-Aid, thinking we all drink a gallon of Kool-Aid. And everyone would sit there and go, "You're the only one that drinks Kool-Aid, buddy."
Sure. Yeah, especially a gallon of it at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to get you on as a guest bear. We got to get you on a guest bear.
I'd be honored.
I wonder if what's your schedule look like? Can you pull up his schedule How hard are you touring right now?
We're pretty heavy in September. I'm off in all of August, though. I got a whole August off, which is
I'm off all of
me.
August too.
Oh, dope. Yo, we should write a song, by the way.
You don't think I was thinking of that all day?
Yeah, I swear. Anytime, the next
problem.
time we get together, let's just get together an hour before, and we'll just come up with a concept.
Here's the problem. Let's do this. We can just do this podcast again. We can do Two Bears. Two Bears. The problem is it shoots out of either Austin or sometimes LA. But I can do this anywhere.
Yeah.
So like I can come to Nashville to find you, and we can do it there. And we can just.
I'm also down to come to Austin, just so you know. I have bag and will travel.
Yeah, we can.
This is by far, shameless plug here, the most exposure I've ever got in my life was Theo's podcast.
Oh, Theo's. You want to talk about a great songwriter? Or joke writer. What am I saying? Yeah. Fucking Jesus.
I was like, fuck, Theo never told me.
No,
I just seen him yesterday.
I got very lucky. I will say this. I don't know if Theo's agrees with this. He very well may not. I got very lucky, and I feel like I was that first generation of comic that got to witness how smart he was. Because Theo, like T.I., was coming into it off of the heels of some fame already.
Right.
And so, but Theo, man, is when we talk about the anomalies of people who came in famous and figured out comedy and do it well, Theo is that one of those guys. And when we did Reality Bites Back, I got to witness like how funny this dude. I mean, I remember thinking he might be the funniest guy I've ever met in my life, on stage and off stage. Off stage, he's so quick. He's so unique. That I see the clip of him going viral right now that goes, my favorite kind of marijuana was cocaine.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's Theo's brain. Yeah. He's fucking great.
He's always looking for it till you see it in his eyes. Like when you're talking to him, he's always looking for the goof. He's a genius, man.
So wait, you're on tour in July. What's tailgate?
See how August opens up till the end of August. You would love it.
You're doing the Brandon Amphitheater in August?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm playing a lot of the spots that y'all just played. We're doing a lot of sheds. My next show down here will be in October, and we're doing the Honda Center, I guess. Yeah, right there, October 8th.
I'm on tour. Wait, what day is that?
I'm not sure.
I'll tell you, I'm on tour pretty fucking aggressively.
I'll tell you the one that's going to mean the most, and I know you're probably booked because it's a big Friday. But that December the 9th of 2022, that's the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. That's our fucking arena. It's big. I'm doing Red Rocks. It's almost sold out. By the way, if anybody on here wants to help finish that for me and give me my first rock, because Bert's got 2 of the rocks now, right? You got 2 of the rocks?
I got 1 rock.
You played it twice, right?
No, I played again in September.
Oh, okay. So you're going to get 2 rocks?
Yeah.
I'm going to get my second rock. The first one was opening for Tech 9. Love you, Tech.
Hey, by the way, Tech 9, can I tell you what's brilliant about Tech 9? And I know that you and him were supposed to do a tour.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there telling someone, I wish I could invest in like hydration therapy. He's already invested in it.
No. He's
like a fucking all
Travis O'Gwen. Him and Travis O'Gwen, not to take nothing from Tech, because Tech's a genius too, but Travis O'Gwen is a mentor of mine that started Strange Music with Tech, is one of the smartest, most savvy business dudes you will ever talk to in your life. If you're ever in Kansas City and just want to have a drink with somebody who will blow your mind, this dude is close to a billionaire. I mean, he owns
Is that who did the hydration therapy?
City. I'm sure it was. I can promise you, if Tech put some money in something, Travis.
Every time I've got there, like, hey, do you want Tech 9 to get a drip with you? And I was like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, Tech 9 does drips. And I was like,
I tried to get a drip on the way here. I went to Rejuve.
Oh yeah,
yeah, horrible experience. She missed the van. It was.
Did you end up getting one?
No, it was a horrible experience across the board. But we ate a taco and felt better. We had the funniest thing. So. Think about this. I'll just say it. We went to the Rainbow Room to celebrate Kimmel. So they put the Kimmel on the Rainbow Room TV last night after I left shop. Now, keep in mind, I started drinking at 4.
Yeah.
Probably never be allowed back because of this, but edit this out. So we end up doing rails of cocaine on the bar at the Rainbow Room.
Wait, edit this out? This is the best part of the podcast.
Okay, leave it. Fuck it. So we're doing rails of coke. The whole band is there, our whole crew, because it was like, an 18-person production to do all this shit. Yeah. So you know more than anybody. So it's a big deal. We're all in LA together. Fucking, we're watching Kimmel. We're just hitting, on the bar, not like behind the bar, not beside the bar. We're just laying them out, little fucking little gator tails. You know what I'm saying? We're just partying and drinking. And I knew you'd had a tooth pulled.
Yeah.
So I was already like, I don't think I'm going to catch Bert tomorrow. Because I would have totally understood, by the way. You doing this is so gangster. And I was like, so I'm laying there this morning thinking I'm dying, of course, right?
I know that feeling when you can't see more than 4 inches in front of your nose. Everything's right there. And you're like, no.
Yeah. No, and the phone's flashing and I look and it's Andrew. And I'm like, yes, I'm calling to cancel. It's about 11:30. This is the cancel hour. Andrew, cool. Hey, what's up, man? We're on. 1 o'clock. I'm shooting you the address. Right then, I panic and text my brother and go, I don't want to say where your spot is, but I'm like, find an IV spot right near this address right now. I was like, we're going straight there. And I thought I was like, because my fear was like, I knew you might be on an antibiotic. So I was like, I didn't feel too bad to get an IV.
Yeah.
But if you didn't end up on an antibiotic and I walked in, you was like, let's shoot a shot. And I was like, we're finna get day drunk. Fuck, I need to be.
I was working out. I worked out this morning because I wanted to see how I felt.
Yeah.
Like just moving around. He said, he goes, you're going to have a lot of pain just moving your head around. And I felt fine. I worked out this morning and I was like, man, I think I might get fucked up tonight. And Leanne's like, you're on antibiotics, dickhead. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, but you can get a little fucked up, right? She's like, no. Yeah. She's like, you've put so much hurt on your liver, allow it to process antibiotics.
Please. Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. I was like, okay, then this builds up for the next time we hang out.
Yeah.
I was like, and we'll do a later in the day one, fucking open up the windows, smoke some blunts, fucking really have fun.
We'll just talk
write a song. I like that. Write a song.
I want to write a song. In fact, I want to write two. I want to write one where we goof, like me and Scholes did.
Yeah. And
then I want to write a serious one.
Oh, by the way,
the flip side of it is you can always have the goof one in your bag if you want to break it out, and I'll sing the serious one, and we won't tell people we wrote it until after it's out.
I say we write two serious ones, and they can pick which one I wrote and which one you wrote.
Yes, dude, I'm telling you.
One, the catchline is, and I can't find my sunglasses.
Yeah. I just think it would be dope if we wrote a really dope, good song and then I sang it. And
Dude,
then when people are like, yo, that shit's dope, I'm like, you won't believe I wrote that with Bert Kreischer. No fucking way.
Do you ever listen to everyone's going to fucking lose their minds in their car and go, shut the fuck up, Bert? Do you ever listen to Wilco?
Yes.
Okay, you ever listen to Red Eyes Blue?
Yes.
Okay, can you just play that real quick? Can I tell you, this is my favorite. I can listen to this over and over and over again. I don't have the ability to be as sincere. For some reason, I was given a weird face and body that when I try to be sincere, you want to laugh.
Right.
Like everything. Even that's why I've only had sex with 6 people. Women. Or when I say people. Women. Women. Because when I go to kiss, it's still funny.
Right.
Like I remember the first time I kissed Leanne, I kissed with my eyes open.
Right.
And she just went, your eyes are open. And I was like, yours are too. She was like, huh? And I was like, what do you mean? Do you not kiss with your eyes open? And she's like, no, it's kind of creepy. You just like stare. And I go, yeah, do you close your eyes? She's like, yeah, close your eyes. I was like,
have you always done that, or did you miss early?
My whole life.
Did you miss early one time with your eyes closed and was like, never again, I'm watching all the way in?
Oh, I missed the other night. In the dark, I tried to kiss her in the dark and fucking had her nose in my mouth. And I went,
That happens all the time with me. My poor wife is blind. She can't see shit. She's like the blind person walks around like this, and squints. And you could literally walk in a room right now and she'd wave at you. And I'd be like, and I'll whisper to her, baby, that's Bert. She'd be like, oh, Bert. And she'll be like all excited because she don't know who's walking in. It's so bad.
Yeah, we'll write 2 songs next time we get together.
It'll be dope.
This is what we'll do. We'll do an evening.
Yeah.
We'll do early evening so we can go out.
Yes.
So we'll do early evening, then we'll go out to like the store or something. Go somewhere like maybe go to the Rainbow Room. Yes. I can't do coke. My cardiologist has already kiboshed that.
I can't do neither. I didn't do it last night. They were doing it. I was not.
I texted my cardiologist on the CSI or the Cedars app one time, and I was like, hey man, quick question. Does Molly affect my blood pressure medicine? And is my blood pressure okay enough to do cocaine?
Yeah.
And he went, I cannot, as your cardiologist, say that you can do either of these. The answer is no. And also stop taking Xanax.
So here's my tequila story.
Okay.
I went into atrial fibrillation in 2017. Heart went out of rhythm.
Wait, how does that happen?
Well, just random. It goes from sinus rhythm out. Sometimes it just palpitates and just snaps out of its normal rhythm. So normally it's associated with palpitations, like when your heart feels like it goes and then goes back into rhythm every now and then. You ever have your heart kind of hold out for a second?
No,
like
I don't
it's
know.
taking
I
a
didn't
breath.
even know this was possible.
Oh, sorry. New fear unlocked.
Fuck.
Fuck.
I will be in bed.
Text me. I'll let you know if it's real. So, but I was having and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And I went to go see my cardio. They had to cardiovert it back into rhythm.
You mean clear?
Yeah, no, they like put you down and then they kind of like, I think it's something like that, but they do something like they put you to sleep and it's real fast and very painless, but still very scary.
Really scary.
And when I came out of it, first of all, I dropped 200 pounds in like 5 months immediately.
Really?
True story. And gained most of it back over COVID. I'm losing again though. I just hired George Lockhart to live with me. I pick him up tomorrow.
Who's George Lockhart?
George Lockhart, Joe Rogan I can't wait to tell Joe this when I finally meet him because Joe's how I first heard of George. Joe did all of Conor McGregor's weight cuts, all of Tyson Fury's last 4 or 5 fights. He is like the most prominent nutritionist on earth. He is the king of making people make weight in the UFC. Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Daniel Cormier when he used to cut down to 205.
All I can think of is how much fun it would be to live with him and sneak behind his back and eat.
Well, I do that. But the cool thing is I don't have to sneak behind his back to drink because he adds that in. He like works that out with me.
Oh,
but
for
yeah,
real?
so I'm losing weight now. But anyways, I get cardioverted and I go see my cardiologist and who's become a friend of mine, sadly. But I go, listen, man.
Hey, by the way, good cardiologists are.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Especially for guys like us.
By the way, the amount of business I brought to my cardiologist, every comic goes to my cardiologist.
No, dude. No, for sure. Me too.
Yeah.
I've seen every musician in Nashville, my wife, everybody. He's got...
The number one thing, anyone listening to this podcast right now, if there is a history of stroke or heart attack in your family, get a cardiologist tomorrow.
Yes.
The only thing they will tell you is good news. Because any news that you get at this point while you walk into that office is good news.
For sure. Yeah. And they'll look for markers to help you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that my dude will set me straight if something's off. So I'm sitting down with him. It's like a good IV guy, right? Justin Williams, Body Works, Franklin, Tennessee is my guy. When you come to Nashville, I'm sure you got a guy in Nashville. Well, let me send you my guy. He is the guy. He does Kid Rock. He does Vince Neil. He does, you name it. He does everybody in country music in Nashville. He's our guy. He's the guy. And between him and my cardiologist, I know I get my blood work done every 3 months. It's my health serious account. I'm losing weight. I got George there. I know somebody in the comments could be like, we want to see Jilly live like they do you all the time. Fuck you and your mom. I got off codeine and cocaine. Kiss my ass. I'm doing better. But I fucking go to the cardiologist, right?
Man, we are so similar. We are so fucking similar. We are so fucking similar. Go fuck yourself.
I knew
Go
it
fuck
happened.
yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not my wife. You're not my wife. You're not my best friend.
Yeah, for
Don't
sure.
fucking say a word. You just see what I give you on. Fuck you. Oh,
yeah,
my
for
God.
Sure. Yeah, no, 100%. Like, dude, trust me, I am. And it's like, I learned losing the weight the last time. That's why I brought George in. Last time I just crash dieted and lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to lose it right with George.
Yeah.
But I go to my cardiologist, Bert, and he's like, look, you got to quit drinking. And I look him straight in the eye and go, that's the only hill I'll die on. I'll quit everything else you tell me to quit right now. Molly's gone. Everything's gone. You tell me to quit it, doc, I'm done with it today. Except for occasionally, right? I'm like, but for the most part, I'll be a better man, I swear to God. You know, he said, let me talk to you in the hallway. He goes out in the hallway, and I don't know why he did this. I still think it's funny. He walks out in the hallway without his jacket on. Just wearing a T-shirt. He goes, drink fucking tequila. He was like, it's cleaner, it's lower in carbs, it's lower in sugar, it's lower in processes. He said, I could be wrong, but I'm betting money right now you got wheat belly and you got a problem with barley. Cut liquor out of your life, whiskey out of your life. Vodka, if it's a potato or corn, it's fine.
Yeah.
Drink clear. Trust me. He walks back into the room, comes back into the room, looks me straight in the eye and goes, you got to quit drinking. And I'm like, he goes, you got to quit drinking. I'm like
like he's wired?
Yeah, like
he's
he's
Donnie
wired.
Brasco?
Like he was giving me professional and friendly advice, but as a professor, it was weird. But I was like, I got you. Right.
Yeah.
So that day I went and got an allergy test. I'm highly allergic to barley. I developed it somewhere. I was drinking a handle of Crown Royal on tour a day and eating cheeseburgers and found out my body quit fucking with red meat and whatever. Anyway, so yeah, it changed my whole life. Been a tequila guy ever since because of the cardiologist.
So my cardiologist said a very similar story. This is amazing. This is amazing how many similarities we have. So my cardiologist said, the very first time he said, I went in there, he said, oh, number one, you got to quit drinking. And I said, well, that's not going to happen. And he went, what do you mean? I said, tell me other stuff. Like, let's pretend that's a non. Yeah. And he goes, listen, we all know how this ends. And I was like, no, I get it. And he goes, all right, well, I don't know what to tell you. So I get not a new cardiologist. I get the nurse practitioner. My cardiologist is I think he's doing work with either COVID or with in like small countries. Like he goes over and helps. So I get this nurse practitioner. This one was the one that got me. She goes, we got to cut back on the alcohol. And I was like, I know my liver enzymes are fine, but she's like, this only ends one way. And I went, yeah, I know, I got that. She goes, no, I don't think you really get that. So she walked me out. She said, see everyone in this waiting room? And it's just, I mean, when you see old people at a cardiologist, they're like, barely holding on. And she goes, everyone in here didn't stop partying. That's what you need to know. And I looked at that room, and it has never been clearer to me. And I was like, okay. I was like, I got you. And I was like, so you mean like big chunks of sobriety? And she was like, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, quit drinking forever. And I went, okay, well, sure. So then we see her at Red Rocks. She comes to my Red Rocks show, and I've got a blunt in one hand, a cocktail in the other, and she's fucking partying. And I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah. And by the way, she didn't have the mask off. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's like, and I've only seen her with a mask on. And I was like, oh, I'm like, man, let me introduce you to my cardiologist. She's like, I thought you had Dr. Or I shouldn't say his name, but yeah, I go by the numbers, and I go by my enzymes are always good. My blood work's always coming good. Yeah. My blood pressure's up and down.
What are you on, the Cinepril?
No,
Is there a pisser close to here? Right, I'm fixing to lose it. Can I do this real quick?
Go piss. Oh, that's so fucking great.
I will say, if we're back taping, that that is the fanciest fucking toilet seat I've ever seen. Yeah. 37 years of being a breathing human.
Oh, you got to shit on it?
No, I wish.
It's so good to shit on.
I might try to pinch one out just because it's there. Was that a bidet?
Yeah.
Never used one.
Oh, they're fucking
Ernest,
amazing.
My buddy, one of the best songwriters in country music. He was actually #1 songwriter on Billboard this week in country music. Sent me one, the dude wipe one. Yeah, but I hadn't hooked it up yet.
Oh, it's it's a game changer. I've been hands-free for fucking 5 years now.
It says dryer on it.
Yeah, it's got a dryer on it. Segura is the first American I ever saw with one. Fuck. And Segura is a fancy boy. He went through and picked up those toilets for every toilet in every bathroom in his house. And I went to his house one time. I went to take a shit, and he was like, oh, make sure you use the toilet. And I was like, I will. Like, what do you think? I was going to shit in your sink? Yeah. And he goes, no, use the toilet. And I went, I will use your toilet. And
what a good friend, though.
Dude, and then I sat down and took a shit, and I went, wait, what was the thing? He goes, use the fucking toilet. And I went, oh. And man, the first time that hit my asshole, my dick got hard. I was like, that's what I wanted. And I put them everywhere in our house. They're my favorite things.
How I don't want to like spoil anything, so we don't have to post this, but how deep into the special are you?
Well, okay. So
I know the movie probably took away from it for a while, right?
Not at all. I toured during the pandemic, so I had a brand new hour when no one had any new material. Oh. So I had a brand new hour, and I was like, oh, cool. And then yeah, that's the toilet I got.
It's called Toto.
That one, yeah.
Good. I'll be able to watch this back and fucking buy that puppy.
And then and so I had a brand new hour, but I wasn't happy. I was touring with it in drive-in movie theaters, so it was very very punchy with not a lot of heart. It was a very like fucking ... And it was almost like because those were open aired, people in cars, 2,000 people spread out over an eighth of a mile. So it was like kind of tough. When I got it into theaters, the first time I did it, I was like, oh, this thing's like almost like exhausting. It's too so I wanted to, and I felt like there wasn't enough in it. It was missing a lot of things. And so I've added some stories. I've shortened some stories. I've pulled out some stories. I've taken away some stuff. By
too punchy, do you mean like let it breathe? Did it need to breathe?
Yeah, like it's not the comic I am. Because in those, like I had like this, in those venues, you needed to do this. You needed to like throw the can in the air and then pop, 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 pop as it landed. And as it landed and it hit the ground, you had to make it dance, pop, 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 and so you couldn't. Whereas a good story, I think, is more like cans on the thing, and you're like pop, pop, like 9 cans on the thing, pop, 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 and then it hits there, you go pop, 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 pop. You know, so like that's the way my brain works about the way I see an hour is thing with multiples, thing, like it's got to be almost like boxing. And so and this didn't have it, and then I toured it in theaters through it for the last 8 months, and it got way better, and it's set up it's in a great spot, but it's always missing something in my opinion. And fucking Leanne is so good. She watched me in Lawrenceville, and the one joke that I have never had an ending to, I got an end to. Leanne is so valuable to me in like that kind of stuff, because she sees it from like a perspective I don't see it from.
Right.
Like I don't.
What do they call that? The 10,000,
10,000 feet up.
Yeah, whatever. The 30,000. Yeah.
Because it's so micro to me.
Yeah.
That that it's right here and I can't see it when it's out here.
Back out.
Some of the stuff I find funny, it's not like you need someone to point out why you're a moron. That's why I love Tommy.
Do you, when you finish your special? So let me tell you what my philosophy about songwriting is. A song's never finished. I just quit.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Because once you record it, the next fucking day you find the verse you could have never.
Yes.
Like
100%.
The next day, carrot and cucumber. I used to have a joke about putting a carrot versus a cucumber at my wife's ass, and I did it forever. Second I put it on a special, the next day I'm like, I got a fucking ton of tags for it. I'm like, right. Motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like that. So I also have a thing that I used to tell people. This is my advice to songwriters is polish it to shine. Don't polish the paint off. And songwriters will get into a room and start polishing, and that thing will be pearly, and that son bitch will keep polishing. And next thing you know, they'll fuck the paint up. They'll scratch the paint off of it. You know.
I've retired a story. I have a story about that. You know, and I don't know. You have to hear the story, but about my dog Priscilla that I was polishing the paint off of, and I could feel it, and I stopped telling it. And everyone's always like, "Hey man, you're not telling that story." And I go, "Yeah, I know. I think I'll record it for my special, but I don't think I need to tell it again.
Right.
I'll tell it a couple times a week before I shoot my special just to tighten it up. But like, I don't need to
polish the paint off.
Yeah,
it's pearly. It's shining right now. I've got
right
it
now,
right where I want it. Yep. And you got to be careful not to polish the paint off. That's why I tell people, if as a songwriter, I'd write the song 1,000 more times to get it right.
Yeah.
At some point, I just got to go, that's a good fucking song, man. I'm done.
Yeah.
I've got to accept it when I fucking put it in mastering. I'm going to listen to it again and go, fuck, I could have said this.
How do you feel about songs like a song I've always loved that I'm curious to know, like, as a songwriter, how you feel about that style of song is like Rocky Raccoon by the Beatles, you know, or like Skeeter and the Monkey Man by the Traveling Wilburys, where they're like story songs.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about these long story songs about like
the greatest example for me would be the most obvious would be American Pie.
Yeah.
Right. It's a 7-minute long story song, and it's written extremely abstract. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like all over the place, and you're trying to follow it and figure it out. Those are my favorite songs, by the way.
Where you're trying to figure it out.
The open for interpretation songs.
Okay, so yeah,
James Taylor, Fire and Rain was me and my father, God rest his soul's favorite song.
Yeah.
Together. And it was just such because one, James was famous. He was so shy. In his 70s interviews, we watched James Taylor get interviewed. He just looked like, oh my God, there's a camera. He's like, yeah, I just wrote a song. And they're like, well, what's it about? And he's like, I don't know. I just wrote it. Like, he was so fucking weird about it. So you never really knew what he was writing about. And he wrote in Dylan, I think, was the greatest writer as far as being an abstract writer. You know what I mean? Like, just think about the opening line of, we gotta find our way up out of here, said the Joker to the thief.
Oh, it's so great.
You know what I mean? Like, what is he going to talk about? What is he talking about? What, it's just like such a draw in. I love Rex. So yeah, those stories. Eleanor Rigby. Rigby.
My favorite rendition. This is going to sound so stupid. This will tell you my intelligence level. My favorite version of Eleanor Rigby was in that fucking that movie they made about the guy who starts rewriting Beatles songs. What's it called? Tomorrow? No.
It's the Indian
Yesterday?
guy, right? Yeah, it's the Indian guy.
Yeah. That was such a fun fucking movie.
Such a good movie, man.
Such a good movie.
I thought that was a great version too. I love re-records.
No, I love that it made me slow down and listen to the lyrics. I don't think I'd ever listened to the lyrics before. So many songs sometimes do this. You go like, oh, that's a pretty good song, right? And then you hear the song one time, you hear it differently, and you go, whoa, what the fuck is this? For Wilco, I'd listen to Wilco and I was like, oh, they're good. But then one day I was walking from the Econo Lodge to the Sacramento Laughs Unlimited, and I was had in my headsets, and for whatever reason, the busyness of the music went away, and I listened to the lyrics. And then once you listen to the lyrics once on one song, then that artist becomes something bigger for you. Same with Karma Police by Radiohead. I was a big Radiohead fan, but I don't think I'd ever really listened to much of their lyrics. Right. Then you hear Karma Police, and it's such a beautiful song that you're like, oh, wow, I need to go back and listen to other songs of theirs.
Yeah. No, I felt the same way about that's always been my thing too, is that if I can get you to, so my music's very cathartic. I'm glad we're getting to talk about this too, because my music, I wrote music always from the perspective of, I was Robin Williams and Willie Nelson to writing songs, right? I'm a very jovial guy in real life, but I'm really a very kind of a sad spirit. Willie's famous for, hippie, headband, trigger the guitar, he plays a nylon, he's always high. That same dude wrote Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain.
Yeah.
The same dude wrote My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys, and they still are today. He just had this way of just touching you with these sad songs. But as a spirit, like Robin, life of the party, funniest dude on earth. There was clearly some dark shit happening with the guy. So it's like, that's my approach to writing. My wife says it's my therapy. It's probably what keeps me from completely losing my shit. So I write very cathartic music. And I know that once I can get you into the lyrics of a Jelly Roll song, if you've witnessed any pain in your life at all, of any magnitude, you will connect. And once I get you stuck in that wormhole of the Jelly Roll music, that's the difference between in my business and your business, because the way people connect with you and your life and your family, and how I feel like I know Leanne and I know Isla and I know Georgia and I know these characters around you and these people. I know your spirit. I know all this stuff. It's the same way that you go from selling 700 tickets, 400 tickets, 3 shows or whatever, to selling out a 10,000 person fucking app. You're doing a shed tour. You are a fucking rock and roll star. Tom Segura is doing he's an arena act. Am I wrong to say there's more arena acts in comedy right now than there's ever been at one time?
Without a doubt. It's
like, we're in the era, the golden era was in the whatever. They were spot wrong. Golden era of comedy. The golden era of independent music is right now. Right now, while the streaming services are letting the algorithms be somewhat authentic and let people find their own music. Eventually, the labels will buy out the streaming services and start blocking out the independents again. Yeah. It's inevitable. But right now, we are in the golden era of a kid being able to hit upload of a song on YouTube and fucking connect with people and go sell 7,000 tickets everywhere in America.
Yeah, you're very accurate on that. I mean, I remember when I was young going like, I'll never like the David Spade, Adam Sandler, Kevin Nealon, like that when they were all doing stand up, that Mitch Hedberg, Dave Attell, like that time when I was a young comic, when I would have maybe hosted for these guys, I remember thinking, those guys aren't going anywhere. What the fuck, man? Where is comedy gonna go? And then all of a sudden when it went independent, and it was like, yo, we're not getting opportunities, but we're still here. That's happening again with the whole New York side of comedy right now. All the guys in New York, Schultz and DeStefano, Pappas, fucking Shane Gillis, Mark Norman, Ari, that whole Sal, fucking Joe DeRosa, all these great comics are all getting an opportunity that they're making their own opportunity. They're putting their specials on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And right, I guarantee you the next thing that happens is all these YouTube comics, the comics that put out specials on YouTube, I guarantee you they get bought by Netflix.
I can tell you this. I was telling Shab last night that I'm taking notes from my comedian friends and how they approach the game, and I'm spreading that gospel to my music friends. when Scholes did the California show, he's done 1,000 things I thought was genius, and I'm blessed to call him a friend. When Scholes did the California show and he rented that 6'4" Impala, and that video clip of him pulling up in this bouncing, hopping California car at this theater, and the robe getting off the private jets and stuff, and I was like, he fucking gets it. It's like when I watch you cut a promo, I've learned so much. I sell more tickets than everybody in my genre because I watch the way you and Tommy sold tickets, right? You and Segura sell tickets. And I'm like, yo, these dudes get it. Like, you know what it is? You make people feel in advance like it's the night you're going to give them, right? When I watch a Bert promo, I'm like, if he's this excited about this Red Rocks show, I need to book a fucking plane ticket and get there.
There is a, I'll tell you, man, we hit a stride on Fully Loaded with promos because the amount of tickets we moved in that second week was phenomenal. I mean,
and that's even crazier to have a big second week.
Well, we'd sold out the first week, and the second week was not primarily comedy markets. It was like, you know, Mississippi isn't a big comedy.
Oh, the second week of the show. I thought you meant the second week of the on sale.
No. Second week of the shows. So like Mississippi, Bristol, and Greenville aren't primarily.
And you took a very diverse lineup. Like, you didn't go down there. You didn't go to the Deep South with Ron White and Foxworthy.
No, I just took the comics that I like to be around the most.
Yeah.
I mean, selfishly, it's like, look, I'm not saying I'm a great comic, but I'll just, for the sake of arguments, great chefs hang out with great chefs.
Right.
They also, like, they don't hang out with shitty chefs because they don't respect what they do. And the hardest I've ever laughed in my life was not just one night. Every single night we were there, every single day we were there, every single, like, we had a night on the tour bus where I don't often get to the place where I can't breathe laughing. And we were laughing so hard at Shane Gillis watching Apocalypto. And Shane Gillis and Mark Norman had our whole bus crying, laughing. Big J. Okerson one night. We have a night of all fucking in the party bus. We pull up, we're done. We're going to bed. And fucking Jay grabs me and goes, hey man, can I talk to you about Jurassic Park? This is right before we're going to bed. This is outside the bus. And I go, sure. And he does it was like a high thought. And I had never laughed so hard in my life. We're crying, laughing. And he's, you know, Jay does like he'll laugh with himself. Every single night was something that made us, and every single day, just going in and sitting in, it was like the greatest. But we got into a real stride with promos where I think every one of our promos got over 1 million views, and then it just started, and they, you know, started really building up steam. And by the time we had gotten to the Brandon Amphitheater, I mean, I don't think we had been slated to sell that place out, and we were up against a sellout. If weather hadn't changed, I think it would have been clean. Oh,
no, you would have sold.
And so, but those, I'm really glad to have 2 months off where I don't have to think of promos. But my brain's so fucked. I got up this morning and started writing my columns of like things I need to focus on, and then started working on it. And then Leanne came out, and then I started writing jokes, and then I worked out, and then I'm like, and then we rescued a baby bird, and it's like it's been a fucking morning. I can't wait. Yeah, your favorite
country rapper,
dude. I'm telling you, man, I'm so happy to see your success.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to see your success because, like I said, you're a guy I've known for so long because you've just been in the community. Yeah. Isn't this community of just cool people?
Right.
That to see you pop like this. When Shab hit me up and he was like, "Hey man, do you know who Jelly Roll is?" The first thing I wrote was, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Yeah, yes. Awesome. And he's like, "Hey, can you do your podcast?" I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Can I?" Yeah, I would love that. I would fucking love that. And I'm telling you, next one we do, booze, weed, songs.
No, for sure. Songs,
booze, weed,
especially.
songs.
That'll be the best part.
Booze, weed, songs. I love that combo.
Let me know. I want to come down to Austin. Yeah,
we'll do. So we're Tom and I our schedules are kind of fucked. So I think we're gonna do a few more guest bears this year than normal. So if it works with you and Tom, I'll set up you and Tom. Yep. And if it works with me and you, they'll set up me and you.
Either
but
or.
whatever the scenario is, we may do one where Tom and I come in, and then I may stay an extra day when Tom leaves and do some the next day.
Okay.
But
just let me know, because I'm willing to hang. We'll travel. I just love you. I love what y'all do. I've learned so much. That Bridgestone show is December 9th. If you're not booked, we'd love to have you there.
I'm in Ontario, Canada.
Oh, sad, because we are going to do a. I think I got Uncle Joey coming out. I think that it's the arena show. It's almost sold out. Full blown arena, first arena headline in my hometown, and I'm giving 100% of the
Bridgestone.
money. Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize what you were saying. Bridgestone.
The Bridgestone Arena, yes, sir.
I didn't understand what you were saying until you said it again.
Yeah.
Bridgestone.
The Bridgestone Arena.
That's fucking huge,
It's
dude.
big. Red Rocks, October 23rd, almost sold out while I'm pitching my tickets. And we're going to give 100% of the money away to the Juvenile that I was in to build a program for music over there. 100% of the merch and the ticket sales, which you understand more than anybody.
I know what that money's going to be.
Yeah, and I'm gonna match it.
Jesus Christ.
And the day of the show, we are going to go, and I'm going to try to take a couple of comedian friends and music friends to the Juvenile. We're going to talk, tell jokes, sing songs.
Oh, wow.
Then we're going to go to the local prison.
Over?
Coco said he'd come. Uncle Joey said he'd come. I'm going to double back with him and make sure, because we were just chatting one day, but he's like, you ever need me, I'm there. I was like, this is the day. He's like, I'm there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to hit him back and double down, like, yo, because I'm going to take care of everybody's flights and shit. But I know Porter said he's going to come out for sure. I think Porter cleared the date for me. Wolf always comes. Josh Wilson's a great guy. Great. He always comes out. Byrne, Byrne lives in Nashville.
I do.
Theo cleared the date. Theo said he's coming. I think Shab's going to come. So just trying to put together something really cool with the homies. I want to just kind of mix what you did. I find stuff that I'm passionate about, put myself in the middle of it, and then try to work it all together. And I think what would be better than me going and singing songs for kids at the Juvenile, Theo telling just a couple of quick jokes, making these fucking kids laugh, and showing these kids that there's cool people that are successful, because they don't see that in there, right?
And they don't see, and sometimes they don't see that can be them.
Yes, exactly.
And I mean, one of my favorite human beings in the world is a felon, Joey Diaz.
Exactly.
Love him to death. My daughters found out this weekend that he had kidnapped someone, put him in their trunk, and they were like, Uncle, because they saw Joey. All the girls came to Lawrenceville, and Joey was in Lawrenceville, and we were just bullshitting, and he said, yeah. Something about voting or something. He goes, yeah, I can't vote, dog. I'm a fucking felon. Georgia goes, a felon? He's like, yeah, I got kidnapped some guy. Georgia, one day you're just going to get cocaine. Next, you got a gun in some guy's rib cage, put him in a trunk. Shit happens.
I love it. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for doing this, brother.
Anytime, baby.
Fucking congrats.